Got to Lose, Terry?
I am. I saw her last night on American Idol.
Yeah, she sang this on American Idol last night, didn't she? Yeah, how'd she do?
Wonderful. She's very pretty.
I thought it was awful. Oh, just awful.
No, it was Simon's Find.
Really? Oh, of course he loved it.
Yeah, he absolutely loved it.
Amazing.
Loved it? Well, of course he's going to love it. She was making a little spot, little run. I knew the break that we just had was too long because Girlie couldn't hang on.
Oh,
She's gone and about her day now, and all her claims about hooking up with Dwayne Wade. They sounded legitimate to me, Terry. There was nothing about the story that stood out to me like, oh, she's making it up. And, these things happen all the time. Dudes in the NBA, after the game on the road, they just have girls, they don't even ask them to come back to their hotel. They just wind up at their hotel, and if they're hot enough, they get to stay a little while, and before you know it, this, that, and the other thing is done. Yeah. No biggie, no fuss, no muss. Move on with your life. Happens all the time. There was nothing about her story that stood out as her being a big-ass liar, but a lot of listeners are on the line waiting to call her a bitch liar and stuff like that. I see on here, and all the haters, and Terry Free is the carrier of the torch of the haters, and I don't know why you got to be such a hater. It's happening every night, all the time, and what's the big whoop?
I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. Truly, I understand.
Why do you have to call her a liar?
But I think there are certain.
Could have been me.
There are certain things. Granted,
is that
not
what it
saying
is?
No.
All these haters are thinking that should have been me or what?
Yeah.
No, I think that sure, nobody doesn't, nobody believe. How am I trying to say this?
I wish I knew.
Everyone believes that sure, Dwayne Wade is probably out there, getting him some.
Oh, jeez.
But I think that some of the things that she said that happened while in the hotel room are a little.
There was nothing skeptical. There was nothing sketchy about her story. What stood out?
The friend goes and takes a damn bath, and then
so what?
Well, her and Dwayne Wade are doing it. She comes on out and shakes her leg.
What's so preposterous about that?
Please,
that actually added credibility to the story.
I don't think so.
Weird, stupid things like that happen all the time in hotel rooms. Girls get so just caught up in the awkward moment that they start doing things that are just I wouldn't go as far as to say inexplicable, but just silly. She started taking off her clothes and just jumped in the bathtub and started taking a bath. Why would she throw that in there if it wasn't true?
I understand that, but I think Dwayne Wade seems to be, although he's a little freaky, I don't think he's so outwardly freaky.
What's so freaky about that story? He had sex with a gropey. Big deal. She threw herself on a platter for him. He was hanging out in his bed watching a little movie. She was laying all over the bed with him. And before you knew it, it was done in 20 minutes or less.
He didn't even try. His friend said, hey, Dwayne wants to talk to you. That's awesome to have friends like that.
That I believe, no problem.
Just sitting there.
That I believe, but...
Didn't even have to try. Now, maybe she came off as a little bit of a bragger to you, Terry, and maybe that's why you want to, like everyone else on the line, call her every name under the sun, but there's nothing about her story that doesn't make sense. The story is perfectly acceptable, and it's one of many stories happening all the time. No big whoops anywhere to be found. Now, I have her number, Terry. I can call her back if you want me to.
Terry,
we did get her MySpace, too, before she hung up in telling her story about how she had that one-night hookup with Dwayne Wade. And the only reason it's a relevant story this morning, if you're just waking up, is because of the blow-you-through-the-room news. Blow you across the room, fascinating news. That not only is Star Jones getting divorced this morning, but the stories are starting to build by the second that she's been hooking up with Dwayne Wade over the past number of weeks, Terry. That is shocking. That is impossible to believe. Dwayne Wade hooking up with this 21-year-old little skinny thing. Actually, she's got a nice... She looks like the kind of girl any NBA star would want to hook up with.
Okay.
Not making you work hard at all, and she didn't lie about that. She made it pretty clear that she didn't make him work very hard, if at all. She didn't make him really lift a finger. He didn't even have to get off his bed whatsoever, Terry, and she was just laying all over with him, and this is the kind of girl that if she's in your room, and it's 1 a.m., and she's lying all over it, serving it up, you're knocking it out of the park. There's no two ways about it. You're bringing her the ruckus without a second thought. She has the look. 21 years old. This makes sense. The Star Jones thing doesn't make sense to me or I think anyone. How do you make sense out of Dwayne Wade having sex with her?
Because I don't believe that in the first place.
You don't believe either story?
No.
Terry's a little jaded because she once got denied by Kareem. With the Bucks.
Not even with the Lakers, with the Bucks, Terry.
That's right. Bill Russell said no, so now she hates all NBA players.
We do have her number on caller ID, Terry. I did have a lot of other questions I wanted to ask. I wanted her to hold on, but it was a long break, and I guess she just hung up for whatever reason. I could call her back and find out why she hung up. I mean, if anything stands out at all as to her story not being true, maybe you're thinking the fact that she hung up and couldn't continue with what you see as a lie, maybe that's the only thing you have to stand on, because her story made perfect sense to me. There was nothing that stood out as far as sounding like a lie to me.
All right.
She didn't make it like he was begging her to go back to her hotel with him. She didn't make it like he even asked her. She just wound up at his hotel, and they straggle on in, and they lie around, and if all just turns out where he's, into it for the very second that you're lying there, that's the way it goes down.
All right.
Who are you typing to? A little Terry Cam chatter.
No,
haters?
that's a hot shot typing over there.
Well, let me call her up, find out why she hung up. I don't like being hung up on, even if it's during a break. All right, missed out. Hang on a second. What's the name of Lisa? I could keep the number for my private message here, but we'll give her a quick call since you and I have some follow-up questions.
Leave your message for 42564.
Come on.
Turned you off.
She turned off her phone?
Yeah.
All right, well, if that makes you feel like you were right, Terry, and she was a liar, then you can go with that. I still don't think she was a liar. I just think probably she got a call or two from some family member saying, why are you on the air telling everyone about this? Why are you doing that? Turn off your phone right now. Move on with your day. That's the way it goes down. That's the way it happens all the time on this program. People don't realize the magnitude, the reach of this show, how many people are listening to everything you're saying.
You're right,
and while
I
she was
know.
holding on during the break, she probably got text messages and call waiting, people chiming in saying, get off the line, you sound like an idiot, blah, 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 turn your phone off. That happens all the time. People don't realize. You were listening? You're listening too? Oh, my God. People don't know how the magnitude of the show can be.
That was you. Which friend was in the bathtub? That girl? Really?
I don't like that she turned off her phone when I still have questions.
I know. It's
Lots.
But I can see it happening. Doesn't make her story not true if that's what you're trying to sell us now, Terry.
Well,
Why do you not believe the story?
There's certain things that
There was nothing.
All right,
Nothing.
sorry. It's just my opinion.
You didn't believe her story from before she started her story. You could hear your voice, the tone of it changed to this outright hater sound from before she even started telling us the details of the story.
Then why all of a sudden, 1 minute regardless, she knows that when she calls on a subject like this, how many people listen, all that crap.
No, I just explained to you how people don't realize how many people are listening.
Come on.
And no, don't tell me bullcrap. It happens all the time. People will call after the fact saying, I can't believe I got calls from this person, that person, they were listening. People don't, especially a show like this where no one admits to listening.
But tell me that she was so happy to brag about it. Why would that make a difference for her?
I just told you, because when you hear it from people that you have in your life that you kind of love and or family members or close friends, and they're calling up saying, I'm listening to, hang up, you're sounding like an idiot, don't do anymore. He's just going to ask you really embarrassing private questions. And she hung up, and she turned off her phone. I mean, there is a possibility she made up the whole story, but I didn't hear anything in that story that sounded out of whack to me, sounded like a perfectly normal situation for the world we're talking about.
Okay.
And that's the NBA world where a superstar can have girls just wander into their room, and if they look good enough and they're in the wrong moment, they're going to be taken down, they're going to be brought to ruckus all the time. Why does that story seem so far-fetched to you?
It's
Why?
not far-fetched.
Well, then look at her MySpace.
And
She's
really,
21. She looks good.
Quite honestly,
There's
what's
nothing out of
the big
whack.
deal? What is the big deal with it? It does. You're right. It happens all the time.
You tell me what the big deal is. You're acting like a big outraged hater.
No, I just said that I really didn't believe that it was necessarily her. I didn't say that I didn't believe that it goes on a daily basis.
Well, it's got to go on with somebody. If it goes on a daily basis, and you understand that, it's got to go on with somebody, Terry. Why not her? She fits the part. Star Jones doesn't fit the part. That's shocking to me.
Face, by the way.
But this girl fits the part. 21, nice booty, thin little waist, big, nice hips, Terry. Looks like exotic looking.
The fact that he had a friend come get her, that's all I needed to hear. That sounds so right.
I can't tell if she's black. It's a black and white picture. I can't tell what ethnicity, but she's got something going on there. Hispanic, some sort, but she looks good. And if she was in the wrong spot and I'm Dwayne Wade, bam, over. Nice knowing you. And she knew that. She didn't. You heard the sound of her voice, Terry. And she had the attitude to go with it. She had that little sound that you just want to knock the bottom out of, you know?
People are saying that she's got back fat.
Well, everyone's back fat. Who doesn't?
Mm-hmm. And what's wrong with little back fat these days? A little back fat is get a little bit more and then call me back. 1-866-663-T-Man. Mike, you're on the air.
What's up, T-Man?
How are you, Mikey?
I'm good, man. I wanted to call, first of all, to tell you, man, I love your show, man. I ain't really no morning person, but I just got this morning job, and I've been, man, and I love the show, man.
Don't slip up and say curse words. Everyone's slipping up and saying curse words this morning. I appreciate what you're saying, Mike, but you can't slip up and just say the S word, even though off the air I say it all the time, too. I got to stay in control as far as that's concerned to some degree, and I got to ask you to do so I don't have to dump you every 5 seconds. You know what I mean?
I apologize.
That's all right. What morning job... Before you get into why you call, what morning job do you do that you're able to listen?
As far as the female talking about D. Wade and all that, I think she bragging. I'm not to say. I mean, if she had sex with D. Wade, she had sex with D. Wade. But why would you want to broadcast it? You feel me? I mean, it's like she's trying to gain fame off of something that she did, like she proud of it. Like
she is proud of it. She feels good about it. It's a nice moment in her life.
If that's the case, she might as well put on MySpace. Oh, I had sex with D. Wade. You feel me? Like what is the point of broadcast? What's the point of telling?
Because that's a little bit too personal. She thought when she just called as Alyssa this morning, and even though that's her real name, just going by the first name Alyssa and just being a voice on the radio, that still gives her a little bit of anonymity. Maybe she didn't realize to the extent that people listening would know who she was and know that that's the person that they know, and they called her and said, hey, I'm listening to you on the radio. Maybe she didn't realize the extent of all that. But if you put it on your MySpace, first of all, that makes it a lot more permanent. It's not just tell a story on the radio and then it seeps into the airwaves out there. So she felt comfortable telling it in this fashion, but she wouldn't feel necessarily comfortable broadcasting it on her MySpace. It makes sense to me.
But that's a whole other thing too. But did she say her MySpace was private?
Oh, yeah.
Well, a lot of girls make their MySpace private these days because they feel like there's a lot of stalkers out there. They're going to harass her.
Too fine. She is just too fine. Why is her MySpace private?
Well,
she's doing D. Wade. Come on. I see his point.
I can understand a girl who wants to have sex with Dwayne Wade but doesn't want every stalker in the world to be emailing her on MySpace.
But the thing is that, hey...
There's a big difference between Dwayne Wade and the little stalkers that are on MySpace.
But she can pick and choose because she's... You know what? She's just doing her.
You can't pick and choose who stalks you. They choose you. You don't choose them.
But it says, I'm doing me now, so do you and watch me do me. That's what she has on her MySpace.
She has what now?
I'm doing me now, so do you and watch me do me.
All right, so what does that prove?
Well, hey, she wants everybody to watch her, but wait, she's set to private. That's what the guy was saying. She's out there bragging about all this stuff. Why?
You got to become her friend to watch her. You become her friend, then you got access to her MySpace. I'll be making a request later today. Don't worry about that.
Also, God grant her the serenity to accept the things she cannot change.
Yes.
And
yes, let's bring the Bible.
And the courage to have sex with Dwayne Wade while people watch. That's what they teach you at 12-step stuff.
What else does it say on her MySpace? No, seriously, what other things does it say, even though her page is mostly private?
She copied and pasted the 12-step motto, the God grant me the serenity to accept that routine, you know?
The 12-step model that they teach you in rehab, or what?
Yes.
Yeah, I think she's being deep and profound, but it's like a 12-step prayer.
Does that suggest that she's spent time in?
I don't think so.
No,
she just saw it
and thought it was cool and posted it. But
it's actually a very common little, prayer that people like.
She came up with it, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people don't even realize that that's a 12-step.
Right.
I don't think most people know that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's very deep, though. Yes.
Wow. Chris, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, bud?
Hey, man. I just want to tell you, I've been listening to you forever, bro, and I love the show.
Oh, thank you very much, man. We love your call.
Hey, man, I've been listening to you since the KUBE days, so that's been
we get the point. You've been listening for a long time. We understand.
I love it, man.
What can I do for you, Chris?
I just want to say, man, I believe the girl, myself.
There was nothing not to believe.
I know. I believe her. And I just want to say, why are you even worried about what Tari's saying? You know she's a show hater, and she's going to hate all the time. That's all I want to say, bro.
I even identified when Tari's hater horns, when she first started coming on the air mentioning that she had sex with Dwayne Wade, started coming up before she even started in with the details of her story.
I know, and who cares? Who cares if her MySpace page is private? She's selective. Who cares? Let her do what she wants to do.
No woman wants anything good to happen to any other woman if it can't be them. That's the end of the story, the long and short of it. No two ways about it. Now,
and I just want to say, just because Tari hasn't been selective in her life, don't hate. All right? That's all. I'm out.
Tari, do you have any response to that?
No.
Do you feel like you may be coming across a little bit in the hater realm this morning?
Yep, and I don't care. Do you see my horns?
The girl was just sharing the story with us. The girl didn't call out of nowhere to just come on the air and tell us a story about some random NBA star. The only reason she called in was because it was relevant this morning because of all the news involving Dwayne Wade hooking up with Star Jones and how we're just shocked to the hilt, how we're blown away by the thought. And I wanted to ask her if that changes her feelings about that night that she had with Dwayne Wade based on the news that's starting to come in little by little about him hooking up with Star Jones. Does that change her overall feeling of the sex she had with Dwayne Wade now that she knows that he's hooking up with Star Jones?
But she also
20 years older than him and really not in many men's eyes an attractive woman. And Dwayne Wade is voluntarily, I don't think he's being raped by Star Jones, so I have to say it's voluntary consensual sex that he's having with her, and it has me shocked, these stories that are starting to build in momentum, that Dwayne Wade and Star Jones, the newly divorced, the ink isn't even dry on the divorce papers, Jones stories surfacing, Terry, and now we're hearing about Dwayne Wade and her hooking up. Shocked!
And by the way, the last caller, she called to confirm that he does cheat because Terry was saying that he's with this high school sweetheart, he's committed to her the whole routine.
Well,
so that's why she was calling,
you
just to help confirm.
inspired her to call. She didn't call out of nowhere to brag, Terry. You probably made...
Actually, when we were initially talking about it, it was, do we believe that she's cheating? Do we believe that D. Wade is cheating with Star Jones? And even the caller said, granted, I never said he wasn't cheating. I just gave you some facts about him. But the other thing, too, is she doesn't believe that he's cheating with Star Jones. That was also her motivation for calling.
Well, she dismissed your thoughts.
Yeah, which is fine. I don't care.
He's a religious guy who doesn't step out in any kind of situation like a typical athlete, at least the stereotypes say that they do. All right? So she felt inspired based on some of the things you were saying to call in. So my point is she wasn't calling in to brag as much as just try to give you a little insight that he's more typical than he is an enigma in the athletic world. So why you became this immediate hater about a girl that called in to share a story and try to communicate and join in on the conversation, Terry, says a lot more about you than anyone here.
Why? Because I'm always a hater. So it's nothing different.
Yvonne, you're on the air in Concord. What's up?
Yeah, I just want to comment on the D. Wade little story. I don't think Terry's a hater, and who cares who that girl did? Personally, no one cares, just her. And, you know, even though Terry's voice gets on my nerves on the radio every day.
Oh, you too?
Yeah, I'm still going to stick up for her because she's married. I think she's married from what I've been hearing.
Terry's very happily married. She's a very happy woman these days. So why she's a hater is beyond me.
No, and she's just hating on the little skanky girls that want, douche on the happy people's life and then brag about it. So, Terry, I'm sticking up for you, girl, even though,
I get on your nerves. Thanks, though. I appreciate it.
Is that what it is, Terry? Is that what you're feeling like, Yvonne, that this girl just reeked of skankiness? This girl just reeked of being a low-rent, sniveling, two-bid, dime store hooker, and that's what bothered you, Terry? Is that why you're so ruffled and rubbed the wrong way?
It's a lot of things, quite honestly. I mean, and just when...
Let me try.
I really like him as a player, and when I read things about him, I thought, knowing the athletic world.
You're jealous because you can't do him.
Knowing the athletic world, athletes in the world, you always hope that there's a couple of good guys in there that are still pretty.
What, this makes him not a good guy in your opinion, Terry?
You know what?
Why does this make him not a good guy? Oh wait, her phone's ringing. Oh jeez.
425.
Why won't you make your phone ring? Come on, Elisa. We had a nice conversation. I got some follow-up questions. I'm going to be emailing you later. You might as well talk to me now. Why won't you pick up her phone now, Terry?
Better off you talk to me.
I don't know.
The sooner you talk to me, the better off you'll be.
Better off you talk to me on the air than off the air. Trust me. I'm a lot dirtier off the air. My questions are going to be a lot more invasive off the air. Trust me on that. You better answer your phone. She called us, Terry.
Yes, she did.
And now she's got her phone turned off. Elisa, if you're listening, and I know you are, even if you're claiming you went to work or whatever, I'm sure you got your earpiece in or whatever. You can't just make that call and get to work and then stop listening. I know you're listening somehow, some way. So even if you're at work right now, find a way to get your phone back on so I can call you and we can have another couple of minutes here because I'm still not completely satisfied with the way our call ended. I was up against a hard break. I should have blown off the break, Terry.
And the other thing,
the company would have lost about $10,000, but I would have paid them back. Not really. What's that, Terry?
The other thing, too, is...
She's got an other thing, yeah.
Well, it does happen all the time. Why is she so special? She's just one...
She didn't say she was special.
But she makes it sound like, I'm so
she
special.
But story.
She's just one of his many. So
of
big deal,
and
who gives a rat's?
She knows that. She's not saying anyone should give a rat's.
Yes, she is. She called to brag about it. Oh, I've had D. Wade, not Star Jones, and let me tell you how it went down.
I don't remember her disputing the thought that Star Jones and Dwayne Wade hooked up.
That was one of the first things she said.
One of the first
I don't believe it.
Well, everyone doesn't believe it.
With D. Wade.
No one believes that Dwayne Wade could be hooking up with Star Jones. If Dwayne Wade's going to be, especially if he's the type to hook up with girls like this adds more doubt, like I needed more doubt, that Dwayne Wade's hooking up with Star Jones. I was going on the thought that Dwayne Wade is actually a peculiar guy who, as we've heard sometimes, doesn't really get any kind of flaunting action going on when he gets to the clubs. He sits alone in the corner most of the time. That's the kind of stories I've heard about Dwayne Wade. So I was starting to put together the puzzle pieces and say, maybe this is just a weird-ass guy when it comes down to it. And that's why we can't understand, but he understands why he wanted to hook up with Star Jones. But now that I see that he's hooking up with 21-year-old little girls like this, Terry, who are throwing it up on a platter and he's just knocking it out of the park like that, I'm doubting even more that he would hook up with Star Jones. Because he seems more typical now than the abnormal type that it would take to be an NBA superstar status like he has it and hook up with Star Jones. When you could hook up with anyone any groupie at any time, why do you then start hooking up with Star Jones like the stories are starting to tell us that is happening out there? Why would he do that? So she's doubting it just like anyone else is doubting it, Terry. You can't come down on her for that.
Okay. Didn't say I did.
Feely, you're on the air. Is it Feely?
Eli?
Felly.
Felly. Yes, Felly.
Yeah.
What can I do for you, Felly?
Well, I just wanted to call and just kind of put my comment in about all these little airheaded blonde girls who call and are just like, oh, you know, I'm really not the hottest girl in the world, but why do you do that? Like, why do you have to call and just say that just to get so much attention from everybody else?
Oh, what's your MySpace?
Even on the chat room, everybody is like, oh, my God, this girl is stupid. Why is this girl calling? I'm so tired of callers like this. And then you ask them for their MySpace, and
I love the
you
story.
need it.
Yeah.
Why?
I love it. I don't care if anyone else loves it. I love the story. I want to hear it again. I want more
So
details.
you just like girls
I want her to come
just
back.
calling in and
Absolutely.
just acting just totally ditzy?
All day long.
All day long.
All day long.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that because
It's a 4-hour show. I'll make it a 5-hour show if you can promise me that all day long.
Really?
I'll make it a 6-hour show. I'll go all through the afternoon. I'll become your afternoon host, too. All day long.
Do we get overtime pay?
All day long. Are you understanding me, Feely? Did you hear that girl's call?
Sure, yeah.
Did you
Well,
hear
you're
that
a
girl's
guy,
call?
so I can understand that, I guess. But
So girls got nothing out of that call. There was no interest level whatsoever in hearing how she hooked up with Dwayne Wade. You had an absolute problem with that, and you were so disgusted you were ready to move on with your day
I wasn't
and
disgusted.
turn off your radio.
It's just stupid. She
You
just
were
wants
as
attention.
fascinated as anyone, probably more, Felly.
Hey, what about that girl who called, what was it, earlier this week or last week?
You
She
were
said the
more
exact same thing.
fascinated than even I was in hearing her call, Felly.
No, she said the exact same thing, though. She
Don't
was like,
lie to
I'm just the
yourself,
cutest.
Felly.
Yeah, which is it?
What?
What girl that called up and said she's just the cutest?
I don't know. It was like the end of last week. She just said basically the exact same thing that this girl just said. She's like, oh, well, I'm not the hottest girl, but I think I'm pretty good looking. It's like...
There could only be one hottest girl, right? So most girls are right in saying they're not the hottest girl. Only one girl can truly be the hottest girl in the world. Yes or no? Okay. Thank you, Felly. 1-866-663-TEAM. What's the problem with girls saying, well, I'm not the hottest girl in the world? What does she want her to? Nobody can win in the eyes of Felly and all the haters that are now starting to rise to the surface. If she said she was the hottest girl in the world, would that have made the call really good to you, Felly? T-Man, I'm the hottest girl in the world. Now take my call.
All right, we found
Would
her.
that be interesting to you, Felly?
So there is one hottest girl in the world. There has to be, right?
Of course, but there can only be one.
So there's got to be an ugliest girl in the world, too, right?
Felly! Felly!
The T-Man Show.
All right, Terry, it's your lucky moment. I'll let you tell us about other things that are going on in the world right
really?
now. If you have some on your pile, now is the time. We have
have to
about
get to my story.
8 seconds for that. What do you got?
Well, first of all, Billy Blanks, and his wife are getting a divorce. They've been married since 1974.
Wow.
They met in karate class.
They met in karate class when Billy Blanks was just an orange belt, huh?
Yes.
Yes, and they've put in some serious time together, and after 30-some-odd years of being a couple happily married, at least I imagine a bunch of those years were happily married times, they couldn't make it to year number 35.
All right.
He's loaded,
34
too.
years was
Yeah,
great,
well,
but I'm
both of them.
kind of out now.
Yeah.
Is that the thinking?
Kids are all grown.
It was a great 34 years. Couldn't have been better, but yeah, I'm kind of out now. I want to see what else is out there for me.
Yeah.
Is that the thought?
Well, as soon as he made his fortune, she pulled the ripcord.
Well, but they did it together. They pretty much built it together.
But he's the face and the name of that
He
whole
is,
thing.
but
What do you mean as soon as he's been making a fortune for the past
years.
over a decade now? I mean, his videos and DVDs have been selling since the early 90s.
All right, so now she gets half and she's out.
All right, well, it's not like as soon as he started making a fortune. It has to be something else. It has to be just two people that got tired of each other for whatever reason, and there's no safety in marriage. There's no hurdle that is the last hurdle. That's what this tells us. This tells us that there's never a point in time when you've cleared every hurdle and you can now just coast to old age together. That in this day and age, there could come any point where you just decide that it's not working out anymore, even if you put in 30-plus years of marriage. Unbelievable.
97 years old, you can still get divorced?
97 years old, you're like, I want to see what else is out there for me.
You didn't get my prescription today, I'm out of here, bitch. Okay, that's good to know.
You'd think that after 10, 15, at least 20 years, at the 20-year anniversary, it's like, okay, we can breathe easy now. We don't have to worry about breaking up. It's not possible after this point. We've cleared every post. We've hit every mark. We've leaped over every hurdle. But no, 34 years of marriage in the bank, and Billy Blanks and his wife moving on.
Right.
Time to hit Match.com.
Yep.
Right. Okay. What else is going on?
Also, you know how successful the American Gladiators was? Well, it's coming back again for a second little season, second little run.
And you're a big fan yourself.
I am. I love it. One of the new American Gladiators actually has been accused of beating her husband.
Beating her husband.
Her husband.
Yes. The typical domestic violence kind of complaint, but happening probably more often, actually happening definitely more often than those may be aware of, that men get beaten on a regular basis. If it's not physically, it's mentally.
Right.
Women and their batterings. Not talked about that often.
No, a lot of men don't come forward. You're right.
But happening in thousands of homes right now as we speak. Men getting beaten from pillar to post. Yeah. Luckily, their wives are not American Gladiators, I'm hoping.
Right. Her name is Erin Teffill.
So is she kind of big? Is she kind of thick? Is she kind of muscular? Is she kind of like no breasts but pecs or what?
Well, I'm sure we can get you a picture here.
Because I didn't watch American Gladiators in the first season this time around.
Right.
Terry,
she's a new addition.
I watched the American Gladiators of the late 80s, and all those that were gladiators were about as roided up as you could get, and that's saying a lot, considering the decade was the 80s, Terry, where roids were big, and anabolic steroids were huge, and testicles were way small. So that was the mecca as far as the real hardcore old school steroid time.
Right.
They don't look like that anymore.
The gladiators don't look like that anymore, right?
They look like fitness instructors more than they do men.
Yes.
No one has that old school steroid look anymore. Because the steroids and the technology is much more sophisticated now, so it doesn't really look like any kind of person that stands out of a crowd necessarily.
Right.
Those that are on performance enhancers and stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't have to hide your horsetail that you grew anymore. You look a little more normal.
But does this girl look like this guy who she's married to is in a lot of trouble if she gets mad at him or what?
Well, yeah, she's definitely, she's cut. Yeah. I mean, she doesn't look like she's frail.
She looks like if he's pissing her off and she's coming after him, that he may be in some serious trouble.
Yes.
She got thick thighs or she got thick arms or what?
Not super thick, but they're definitely, you can see the muscle and she's, all right. She's not like roid thick, no, like we're saying, but she's definitely.
No, I just said no one's old school roid thick anymore, but she's looking pretty badass.
Yes.
All right, what else? What else is happening? One more quickie.
Anyway, I thought you wanted a little more information. Also, and of course I didn't see this movie, but the movie Semi-Pro with Will Ferrell. The bear that he wrestled in it apparently killed its trainer on Tuesday. Yeah.
Not the happiest stories in the world.
No.
The bear from the movie Semi-Pro killed its trainer that allows it to be in the movies. He
chomped down on his neck and killed him.
Not going to get as much publicity, I'm sure, as a crocodile hunter who dies, but a sad story nonetheless. A trainer being killed by its own bear. I think that happened to one of Gay Phone Operator's friends the other day, too, so what a coincidence.
Wow.
Kay, you're on the air. Hello, in Walnut Creek. Good morning.
Hey, what's going on?
What's happening, sir?
All right, well, I just want to say, I think actually both are true. The girl that called up, she's totally telling the truth. I do personal security and bodyguard work for stars and athletes, and her story happens every night. Like
all the time. I don't know why Terry's thinking this girl couldn't be telling the truth. It's got to be happening to some girl. Why wouldn't it be her, Terry?
Even the weird stuff about like her friend taking the bath, like stuff like that happens where she comes with a friend, and her friend gets mad and pours her drink on the bed and runs out the room, or starts crying or starts tearing up the hotel room. We have to throw her out.
Yeah, once the girls are actually inside the room, they start feeling awkward. They start doing weird stuff like looking through drawers and
or they sit on the edge of the bed and just ask them like, why aren't you talking to me, or like they and all that.
That'd be nice.
That happens.
Try weird methods to get attention, like taking off their clothes and starting to take a bath, hoping that he'll get in the bathtub with her, and he didn't.
With her instead of the friend, exactly.
I totally get it. It made perfect sense to me.
And then also the Star Jones thing, I believe the Star Jones thing, because this is the way it is. Even though you can hook up with hot chicks like this girl or whatever, every dude, no matter how many good girls you have in your stable, everybody's got an almond roca girl.
An almond roca girl, nice.
Almond roca looks like a cat food on the outside, but you still like eating it.
Okay.
Nice analogy. When we heard about, who was it that was the speculation that they hooked up with Oprah recently?
Jimmy Fox,
I'm sure it was somebody.
Oh, yeah, Jamie Foxx.
Was Jamie Foxx.
It was Jamie Foxx.
But
when I heard Jamie Foxx may have hooked up with Oprah, that I could accept because Oprah is one of the most powerful people in the world.
Yeah.
Like, as far as the world, the entire planet is concerned, she's in the top 50, maybe even top 10 of the most powerful people that live and breathe right now. So that made some sense. But Dwayne Wade hooking up with Star Jones is so different than Jamie Foxx hooking up with Oprah that makes no sense to me. Still, even after this guy says he believes it. You got to show me, like, video to get me to believe this, and even then I'm doubting it.
The T-Man Show.
Now you know why Lil Wayne is blowing up so big right now. Now you know. How big time is that cut, Terry?
Big time.
We're only, what month is this? April. We're only in April, and that's already my song of the year for 2008 right there.
Wow.
I don't know if anything surpasses that. What do you mean, what?
Already?
Yeah,
committing to it. Wow.
I'm not saying that I'm committing myself to it, but I'm just saying that I don't think anything comes along in the rest of the year that surpasses that cut right there. Right there is your song of the year, at least mine, for 2008 so far. That is big time. I don't think anything comes along in 2008 and surpasses that. But keep in mind, maybe my cuts are a little softer than some people's. I had Rihanna and Chris Brown's remake of Umbrella as my song of the year for 2007. I think Lil Wayne is all over it with that one. And some Vinnie, let me ask Vinnie the Pooh, is he around? How big is this in the clubs right now? Is it
really
the number one cut in the clubs? Is it top three? Where does it fall in? Can you play that in the clubs? Is it working? What's the story?
It's ridiculous, to the point where just last week I played it like 2.5 minutes, and I rewinded it purposely. Played a little like
rewinded it,
yes. And I played a little the little air horn
on his cassette tape. Yeah.
That's right. I'm a button pusher. I rewinded it and I put a little air horn and I played it again, and they just did not care. I had to,
because you had to.
Huh?
I mean,
back to back.
It wasn't even by choice.
Not
it
at
was
all.
The man from the people in the club saying 2.5 minutes ain't gonna do it. We need to hear it again.
For sure, guaranteed.
All right. I wasn't sure if it had the same kind of feel as I'm getting from it here, but in the club, if it's holding up in the clubs, but you're saying it is, and then some.
Hands down.
You're saying people can't get enough of it in the clubs.
Not enough.
Sarah, this is the song of the year, 2007, right there.
Yeah,
2008.
I know. That's
2008 already, yes.
Yeah, but Vinnie said he doesn't play the same song twice in one night. Did he say that?
I normally don't. And I can't stand it. But
that's the entire point. That's the entire point. He never plays a song twice, but he has no choice but to play this one because there's going to be a riot if he does it.
That's very true.
Man, Lil Wayne is blowing up big.
Yep. Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he'll be Big Wayne someday.
Mm-hmm.
No more Lil. You're blowing up.
Even the lost boys, tell you that right now. All right. As I said, I am holding out an escape hatch saying that if something comes along that becomes gives me a reason to have to backpedal on cut of the year for 2008, I'll be the first to tell you, but I ain't expecting it. Let's just put it that way.
all right.
I'll be pretty much shocked if something comes along that takes that one down.
Well, T-Man. I mean, there are songs out there that could do it, you know.
Well, thanks for reminding me that you never know about the sleeper songs of a certain year. How do you tease me with the intro and then not the rest?
That was a tease. I didn't realize that was a tease. All right.
How do you tease? You don't start playing a cut like that and then stop 10 seconds in. Come on.
Oh, man.
Oh, the karaoke bars have been open early after hearing you playing this one.
I think Gay's tearing up right now.
Okay.
You had enough?
I think I've had enough, yes. But thanks for sharing. Terry, we've been neglecting because of all the stuff going on this morning, your pile of stuff. I don't want to feel like I got shortchanged on that. Is there anything that you feel is a standout story of the morning or a series of stories that need to be addressed before we end the show? We're in the final hour of a Thursday morning program. What are you holding back with? What do you got?
Well, first of all, according to research, parents are supposed to speak 17,000 words to their baby every day.
Every day?
Every day.
Well, I'm sure to some women out there, that's just one phone call that they have their babies listen to it in the background. But that sounds like a lot of work. 17,000 words per day to your baby to make sure that they're picking up on the language and they have a strong vernacular and that they're going to be intelligent, and 17,000 words is where you got to go?
Yeah, and
Terry, you only know 11 words. How are you going to make this happen?
It's going to be tough. But
why, is she going to night school and we don't know about it?
Yeah, Terry's up to 11 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
They say that by doing with you guys. They say that by doing this, actually, your child will do better in school, obviously. And
all right. Well, I'll
even have a little. They even have a little word counter.
I'm sorry. I'm the kind of dad, I'll get on the floor and play as much as any dad will these days, but I ain't sitting there blabbing away because I feel that some study is telling me that my kid's going to be a big dummy if I don't, all right? I'll do what I do, and I ain't being affected by any story that tells me I'm 17,000 words deep into what my requirements are, or I'm in trouble with my kids, all right?
You mean your child doesn't count to 10 in 5 languages? Wow. They're way behind, T-Man.
I guess my kids ain't going to be as special as those that follow along with every story that comes out on every website that's supposed to help you along with your brilliant children. What else?
My kid knows sign language. He touches his mouth when he's hungry. Don't most people do that when they're hungry? God, I hate that.
We touch our bellies. What else? What else is going on?
According to, I love studies and research. You know that. Another research, a recent research done by a professor out of the University of California in Davis found that when women say stuff like, let's just be friends to guys, guys actually hear there's still a chance in their heads.
Let me see if I understood that correctly, because, when you're hearing it from Terry Free, you got to be able to speak Terry Free, and sometimes that could be tougher than other times. What you're telling me is, if I translated your story right, guys out there who are listening to women that they're trying to take down, when those women say to them point blank, right to their faces, all I want to do is be friends with you.
Yes.
But what are the exact words? Let's just be friends.
Let's just be friends.
Guys interpret that as, man, I still got a good shot here.
Pretty much.
Bringing her the ruckus in the next 2 minutes and 28 seconds.
Yes.
Well, I think they're right. I think the guys are right in interpreting it that way. Because any woman who takes the time to say those words to you, Terry, obviously is more interested than she's letting on. If she's truly not interested, she's absolutely neglecting and ignoring you. If she actually takes the time to say, let's just be friends, a lot of times that can be a ploy. That can be a, let's get this guy really revved up and interested in me before I finally decide to lay it out there for him. And I'm sorry, maybe that's a stalker and a creepy guy's mentality, but that's just the way it is. When a girl says, I just want to be friends with you, I still agree with these guys that there's hope.
Well,
there's more than hope.
This professor claims, that women should be a little bit more direct so that there is no misinterpretation of the statement.
Yes.
So
if a woman truly is not interested in a guy, she shouldn't want to be his friend.
Well,
if a woman truly, because no guy is comfortable with being any woman's friend, that's an old discussion that we're not going to go through again.
Right.
So if you truly are not interested in a guy, you better start ignoring him. You better put him on the big capital I ignore. Because if you start telling him things like, well, I really think you're cool and I just want to be your friend, he's going to get more inspired as opposed to feeling let down as to his prospects of bringing you the ruggies. He's going to be thinking there is hope, and that's an understatement. I'm agreeing with the guys, and I think there's a rightful reason to agree with the guys to think that there's a good shot to make it happen if a girl says those words to you. So let it be known. If you truly aren't interested in the guy, even though you may want to be his friend, you can't be his friend. You better start ignoring him or else you're giving him false hope.
But he says, make your statements very blunt, almost to the bitchy point. Like, I don't like you. I hate you. Don't talk to me again. Type
so you're
stuff.
saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be an associate. I don't want to be nothing to you but a memory.
Mm-hmm.
So leave me alone. Bye-bye.
But you're still taking the time to talk to me.
Jesus. Not anymore. I'm leaving the room.
Mm-hmm. And I'm leaving with you.
And I'm calling 911.
Well, I just disconnected the cord from the wall.
And now I'm screaming at the top of my lungs.
And not when I got my hands on your throat, you're not. Oh,
and now I'm dead.
This sounds romantic, so I thought maybe we'd play this while you guys are having a chat of some kind. No.
Nice.
More pictures now as we speak, Terry, are surfacing on the internet. It seems to be growing in momentum. I'm not going to say it's because we're talking about it this morning that everyone is coming out with their Dwayne Wade, Star Jones blogs, and the rumor mill is churning at a real rapid pace now. Pictures being posted of them being seen together and stuff like that. It's not even an underground thing. As I said at 6 o'clock this morning, it kind of was. It was at 6 o'clock. It ain't at 9:15, Terry.
Right.
It's more surfacing on mainstream sites now than it is an underground thing anymore. The Dwayne Wade, Star Jones hookup rumors are becoming more mainstream by the second. Give me one more good story, Terry. What do you got?
Oh,
one more good one?
Or one good one.
There you go.
Oh, jeez. You want me to take a couple of calls here?
Oh, no, I got one for you. Okay.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got?
I got a story out of Pennsylvania where 2 high school seniors were actually suspended for skipping school to go meet Barack Obama.
Now, if you're a principal and you hear about 2 students cutting class, and you then call them in your office, and you say, why were you not in this school when you're supposed to be in this school and going to class? And they hit you with, well, we cut out of school because we wanted to go see Barack Obama speak. Do you then, as a principal who has any kind of brain in your head, do you then continue on with what you were planning to do to these kids and suspend them when they hit you with that? When they hit you with that, isn't that a reasonable excuse to be cutting class if there is such a thing? Yes, there is a time and place, believe it or not, to cut class. And if there is a time and place, this is the time. When they hit you with that kind of rationale, when they hit you with that kind of excuse, you then continue on with your, you're suspended line? No.
Yeah, I know.
You stop in your tracks and you say, well, I was planning on suspending you because I never gave a moment's thought to the fact that you could actually have a good excuse for not being in the school, but you just hit me with one.
Right.
So I'm changing my decision. I was going to suspend you, but I'm not going to now. Isn't that the right thing to be doing? Don't you pull the 180 there as the principal and not suspend them when they hit you with that, or what?
Well, as much as you encourage your young people to vote, you would think that, a suspension is, a little harsh, maybe a detention of after school. Yes,
Nothing.
I understand that there has to be some kind of punishment, but a suspension a little too much.
It's the well done. We should have organized some kind of system where buses were here to take you bright, young, hopeful kids to see the candidate you're supporting. I imagine they're supporting him if they're going to see him speak. It's our bad for not allowing school to be halted for a couple of hours so that more students could feel inclined to go see a man who's promoting hope in a lot of people speak in the local area.
How about John McCain? Is it okay to go see him if he speaks?
It's okay to go see anyone who provides you with a little bit of hope in the political world if people the age of 16, 17, and 18 want to go see him. You go ahead and suspend them?
The Dalai
Lama?
Lama?
What kind of message does that send?
How about the Dalai Lama? You want to go hear about peace? You're out of here.
The Dalai Lama, no, he's a prick. Never mind.
Wow.
Of course the Dalai Lama, too. I mean, there's got to be a cutoff, but all those that you've mentioned fall into the category of it's justified to cut school to go see them speak. Now, you want to go see a Gallagher reunion show, comedic concert? No. Got your raincoat on? You ready to be smashed by a watermelon in the front row? No.
Funny every time.
It is funny every time, don't get me wrong. But a little past its time and not going to fall into the category of a justifiable excuse. All right, so the foursome that you mentioned there, Hillary Clinton, I don't think you mentioned her, but I'll throw her in, obviously.
Right.
Barack Obama, John McCain, the Dalai Lama has been circulating in the West Coast region over the past number of days. You cut class to see him speak. I think the principal, who's worth his weight in salt, Terry, is going to say, it's usually a situation where those who cut class, it's standard for me to follow up with a suspension, but I'm going to be a principal who can actually think out of the box a little bit here.
Okay.
And the suspension that would normally come down on someone who leaves school and goes somewhere else is going to be not handed out in this situation. But the principal couldn't think that way because principals are more robots than anything else these days, and they suspended these kids. And now it's become a news story. And it's a news story, I imagine, because people are thinking it's wrong for a principal to suspend students that went to go see Barack Obama speak. Am I right or wrong?
It's a little sketchy to be putting, some sort of judgment on who is okay to go see and who isn't.
I don't agree. I think there aren't many that make the cut, but it's clear as to who makes the cut. And Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, if they're actually in your hometown, I'm imagining this happened in Indiana or in Pennsylvania over the past couple of days, Terry, right?
Right.
This happened in a Pennsylvania high school or what?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not every day where Barack Obama is going to be in your area, and the principal should have obviously had the brain power to say, this is not a point where I should be suspending my students. This is not a situation where I should be suspending my students for going out to see Barack Obama speak. Yeah. But he suspended them anyway.
How about the leader of a satanic church? What if they believe in that? Oh, well, feel free. Hey, bringing hope to you. You believe in Satanism.
I think it's a little bit more acceptable on a mainstream level to see Barack Obama as opposed to a Satan cult-leading church-going individual, whoever you're describing.
I agree with you, but, you have to draw the line somewhere.
And I'm drawing the line. And I'm telling you, there's a select few that you draw the line that make it on the right side of the line.
This is my religion.
And any
my
principal
parents,
any principal who suspends his students because they went to see Barack Obama speak is a dumb principal. And I don't think anyone would disagree with that. If anyone disagrees with that, they're wrong.
So they should just cancel school because the whole school should be able to go?
No, because a lot of students don't care to see Barack Obama speak. So you got to provide classes for the students that are expecting to be going to school and love every minute of school, like every high school student does. But these students were interested in going to see him speak, and because they did, they shouldn't be suspended for it.
Well, they were.
They were, and it was wrong. Now we can move on.
Oh, okay.
Unless you guys disagree, Terry, and
I said
start making exceptions for people because everyone's got their opinion on who's important to see and who's not.
I'm not throwing it your way that all kinds of exceptions should start to be made. I think this one is an exception in the truest sense of the definition. There is such a thing as an exception. All right, now you don't want to water down the word exception, so it starts happening all the time. But in this case, a principal with a brain should have made the exception and not suspended these kids. What's your opinion, Terry?
I'm letting you talk, and you and Hotshot had a little,
Well, what's your opinion?
I just told you. I said that I think that they should be punished, but a suspension was too harsh. I think they should have gotten some kind of.
What's the difference? What the punishment is?
No.
Punishment is a punishment
type thing should have been.
No, if you're saying that they're being punished, that sends. I'm just talking about the overall message, and any punishment would have been wrong. The principal should have said, "Well, you're excused. Get back in class."
Well, if that's
obviously
the
don't
case,
make a habit of. Don't take this as you have clearance now to make a habit as far as walking out of the school whenever you feel like it. But in this situation, I'm not giving you detention. I'm not suspending you. You are absolutely excused and exonerated. Move on with your day. And all the other kids would have been like, wow, we could have just, like, left school for the couple hours that Obama was speaking. We could have gotten a free pass. But it's not every day Obama's in your town.
I understand that.
So what are you worried about?
I understand that. But the thing is, too, is that still there is a protocol that you have to follow. And the students actually just said, hey, we would like to go see him speak. Like you said, the principal probably would have said, fine, go for it, and here's a pass to go. But that's not what happened. You know, they just went ahead and went left, and to go. So that's why they're getting in trouble.
So you would have liked them to give a heads up to the school administration as to where they were going ahead of time.
And because then the school administration would have said, great, go, and here's an excused absence, but probably so.
I don't think you can judge on who's worthy to see and who's not. I mean, what if Oprah goes to speak? Is that worthy enough to miss school?
All the girls leave the classrooms and.
Some kid doesn't care about politics, but the lead singer of Linkin Park's having a book signing. I'm going.
And I made it very clear. There are a select few that make the cut. Now, the lead singer of Linkin Park doesn't make the cut, but Oprah's a tough one. If Oprah's in your town and she's speaking, I don't know. Anyway.
But it's just tough to make that decision,
Let me go to Bree real quick. Bree, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi.
What's up, baby?
Nothing. So I just wanted to tell you that I totally agree with Lollipopping, like the best song of the year, but my club won't play it.
What are you wearing?
Wearing sweatpants, to be honest with you.
What are you doing right now?
I'm sitting in my car.
Sitting in your car in sweatpants?
Yeah, well, I'm about to take my son to daycare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then where are you going? You going to work out afterwards?
No, I'm going home. I'm going to sleep.
You're taking your son to daycare so you can get some peace and get some sleep.
Yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Happening a lot out there these days, huh, Terry? How do you feel about that? These women that just want their day to themselves, so they take their kids to daycare. They're not going to work. Usually daycare is an environment set up so women can go and work and drop their kids off so they can make a living to support that child. But you hear a lot about women who are not working, dropping their kids off at daycare so they can watch the soaps and get some sleep and chat it up with their friends and not worrying about what little Junior is all up to. What's your feeling on that? Is that a little selfish of Bree? Does she deserve to hear Lollipop in her club?
Wow.
Bree needs her sleep, Terry.
Yes, she does.
I worked last night.
Oh, you did work. Okay, never mind. Whatever. I think it's okay. Anyway, all right, your club is not playing Lollipop because they got a problem with it? All right, I don't know what to tell you. Right, your congressman. All right, thanks for the call. 1-866-663-TMAN. Let me squeeze in a bunch of calls here. Hannah in Daly City, you're on the air.
Hi. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. Thanks for asking. I speak for everyone, I think. We're doing
I
good.
have funny. Actually, I was supposed to call you earlier, and I guess I hit the wrong numbers, and I called some phone sex hotline. It was ridiculous. I was like, this can't be right.
Mm-hmm.
But, anyways, I wanted to actually say something to Terry.
Yeah.
Girl, you are not a hater. Don't even let them say that shit to you. You are not a hater.
Well, you'd be wrong, but I'm sure she appreciates the support.
Yes,
Terry
I do.
certainly isn't even aware when she can't help but let her hater vibe come through.
I mean, I was like, my ex would say that to me all the time. Like, whenever I made any comment about any female, I was jealous. I was a hater. It's not even like that. I think I'm just a reasonable person. I mean, if you're going to go and, be a groupie, are you going to really put yourself on blast like that?
All right, well, then what's your definition of a hater? If that wasn't a prime example of what a hater is, what is Hannah's definition of a hater? Is there no such thing then, Hannah? Is that what you're trying to say? Because if you're saying that wasn't an example of her being a hater, then you must be saying that there's no such thing as a hater.
So if you didn't believe her, would you be coming off as a hater? Like, that's all I'm saying.
It wasn't necessarily Terry saying she didn't believe that caller from earlier on. It was the tone of voice. It was the little way about her talking to the girl when she was actually on the line that was very much symptomatic of someone who's being nothing but a hater. So unless you want to abolish the term of hater, you can't say that what Terry displayed on the air wasn't a prime example of someone being a hater. So which is it, Hannah?
I mean, Terry wasn't talking smack. You know what I mean? If she was saying, like, no.
Go ahead.
I mean, you're just coming on her so strong, like telling her she's a hater, like off top.
All right, exactly. You have no answers. Thanks for the call. Sean, you're on the air. Hello.
Young T-Man, what it do, fam?
How you doing, bud?
Oh, I'm chilling, man. Hey, I just wanted to comment. I got a question and I got a comment, man. First of all, my comment is, hey, Hot Shot, man, you nailed it yesterday, dog. That tube ain't is off the chain.
Oh, yeah, I tried tube bait yesterday, too. I wasn't...
man.
I don't know. I spent about a minute on there, and then I went back to my old favorites. I went back to Max. I've been having a lot of problems with Boys Food. I'm really getting disappointed in Boys Food. They're having a lot of issues on their site, and I'm ready to abandon them. But I tried Tube 8 when I started having problems with Boys Food yesterday, and I got off it about a minute later. It wasn't up to I don't know. I wasn't able to navigate the site as well as I had Maxport and Boys Food and those other sites.
Hey, T-Man, check this out, man. This is what you do, man. Type in Ebony, man. I saw the best threesome I've ever seen in my life.
So you put in keyword, you put in search word Ebony on Tube 8, and you like what you saw, or what? Is that what you're saying?
My God, man. Off the chain. Me and my girl was watching and we kicked off some ideas.
Oh, jeez.
Can I just tell you the best part about that site? Is when you scroll your little mouse, when you scroll over the picture of the video, it gives you like 4 still shots of what the video's about.
Oh, they have that on Maxport. They have that. Actually, the only site that really doesn't have that is Boys Food. That is a very key aspect. You need to have that so you don't invest your time like going into the actual video and realizing then it's a waste of time. Putting your mouse over the original picture. Right. Putting your little mouse over the original picture and being able to see a bunch of frames of what you're going to be investing your time in is very key. Don't get me wrong on that. That is a very good aspect of the sites and how they're evolving these days.
Hey, T-Man, I want you to check that Girl Squirter out, man. It's Jada Fire. I know everybody. I'm telling all the listeners, man, go there and check out the Girl Squirter. And I got one more question for you, dog.
No one's going to ever have a problem with girl squirting scenes. Obviously, Terry's a big fan.
Gross.
The soda pop was named after that, Terry. So come on.
Hey, T-Man, I got one more question for you.
Sean. One more thing. What do you got?
When you gonna bring back? You gotta do something for your boy, man. Bring back Men with Game, man, please.
You like Men with Game?
Oh my God, that was the funniest. I know I can't cuss, man, but hey, man, for those who don't know what Men with Game is, call in and request that, man.
Well, I'll tell you what. We tend to go through times where we get all excited about something, then it runs its course, and then we forget about it for a while, and then sometimes something is as much of a staple as Men with Game has been over the years, we tend to bring it back.
Combined with
now we're definitely in a lull period as far as doing Men with Game on the air. But if guys like what was the name of the last caller that just dropped off now, Terry? Whatever his name was, if he starts requesting it, it won't take much to start firing up a little profile up on the internet to get all these geeks excited about writing her and calling her and saying all the things they need to say to get her attention, and then we start playing it again, Terry.
And it was a lot of work, too, by the way.
But I'm more inspired by the thought of Girl Squirter than I am with Men with Game right now. I gotta be honest. That's just me, Terry.
It is kind of inspirational, though. You see why you'd be inspired.
Okay, are you a client of the phone?
John,
no.
You're on the air. John's having a conversation right now.
Now, I would have to have you call and make an appointment to see her.
Well, can I make an appointment to see somebody?
Okay, well, I don't have the calendar here.
Okay.
You would
what
really,
the hell's going on here?
Listen.
Is to call.
Okay.
I mean, that really is.
Well, I need a number.
And I can give you her direct line as well, okay?
Well, I don't know if she's the one I need to talk to.
Probably in the first. I think she is the point person.
I love eavesdropping on conversations in progress, Terry.
Okay, for suing the state of Washington?
That is correct.
Okay.
This is her direct line.
Okay.
And
hey, John.
That is her direct line and all the other information.
Yo, John.
He's going to sue the state of Washington.
Yeah, John, what are you doing, man?
Suing the state of Washington.
John, what are you doing?
I'm up at the lawyer's office.
Everything all right?
Hello?
Yeah, you've been on the air, man. We're just listening on what the hell's going on there. You want to fill us in or what?
Oh, I was just up in the lawyer's office. I'm going to sue the state of Washington.
I told you.
Wow. Well, why not? I mean, why not sue the whole country while you're at it, or sue the whole globe?
$100.
No, I just want to get back what's correctly should be done.
All right. Well, how did you get screwed by an entire state? What happened?
I just wanted to say I enjoy your show. I listen to your show daily when I'm not in school. I listen to your show constantly, and I enjoy the music you play.
Well, that's nice to know. So all the way across the board, the man is in love. Okay. John, I don't want to impede on what you're doing right there. Sounds like you have a bigger fish to fry than talking to us on the air, so thank you for the call. Let me go to JG in Discovery Bay. Yes, JG, can you hear me?
Yeah,
what's up, JG?
Who do you think's going to win? John versus the state of Washington.
All right. John versus the state.
Right. He's got a good shot, it sounds like.
JG, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hey, I just wanted to say that song, Lollipop, is definitely a song of 08.
Song of the Year. We're making our feelings known on Song of the Year in April, Terry. That's not often that you can do something like that.
I know.
That gives you an example of how big time this cut is by Lil Wayne, Terry, that we're all pretty much on board, it sounds like, or at least a bunch of callers that are seconding my motion, that we already have Song of the Year, and we're only not even 1/3 of the way through the year, Terry. This is how big time a song we're talking about here.
I know.
Hey, I know this because I'm not on this votes, and
I can only hear every third word. Let me go to Brian in Fairfield real quick. What do you got, Brian? I got 30 seconds or less for you. What do you got?
It's going to take a little more than 30 seconds. Go ahead.
You need more than 30 seconds?
Advice, man. Real
I'll give you 32 seconds.
I've been with this girl for about 2 years, off and on, this and that. And basically, she broke up with me, and we were broken up for like 3 weeks, right? So I was away on business, and during those 3 weeks, I ended up hooking up with a girl. And
listen, Brian, we're going to need to talk about this tomorrow when we have time to figure everything out. All right?
That sounds good.
Sounds pretty cut and dry, but a Friday show is definitely a time that we get a lot of calls in. It's going to be perfect for you.
Definitely. If I can really get through and talk to you, that would really help me, man.
We will settle it tomorrow, my friend.
Okay.
All right. Stephanie, I got 20 seconds for you. What do you got?
For me,
Yes.
mine was the whole Obama thing, and the 2 kids being suspended. Where were the parents at?
Well, the parents were probably at work, or the parents were at home, or the parents were doing parent things.
What I'm saying is if I was a strong believer with my children and wanting to help them out, I would have taken them out of school instead of having their kids suspended.
Parents and high schoolers don't always see eye to eye, and maybe the parents would have frowned on the thought of them cutting class as well as the principal for them wanting to go see Barack Obama speak. Doesn't mean
it's very true. That is very true.
The principal was wrong for suspending these high schoolers in Pennsylvania for cutting class to go see Barack Obama. Now, normally, yes, I'm totally on board with the guidelines that you can't just run out of the school and go running off to wherever you want.
Definitely.
I did it all the time. I went to the mall all the time, and I took my chances mid-school hours, and I found out the hard way that the rules are pretty much going to be abided by, and I can't convince them that my mall needs were more important. But in this case, the principal
have been suspended.
Is stupid. And the principal should be able to think out of the box.
I agree. No,
don't get me all flared up now. Don't get me all flared up where I'm going to call this school and I'm going to start screaming at this principal because I'm sure he won't even take my call and I'll just get frustrated no matter what happens. But the principal's an idiot. End of story. Got a quick email here. T-Man, why do you disrespect Terry Free the way you do? You're very degrading in your comments that she only knows 11 words. When you told that story earlier, I guess she's referring to, Terry, about how you're supposed to speak 17,000 words to your child every morning or every day so that they can have a shot at being a true high intellect. And I said, well, Terry, that's going to be a problem for you. I don't know 11 words. Can I joke with my co-host and not everyone get bent out of shape for a second? Is that possible?
Doesn't seem like it.
Man. And if I want to degrade Terry Free, that's my business. And if she wants to degrade me, that's her business. Everyone else should just butt out. Well, you got a problem with it, then go somewhere else.
But you do a radio show, so people hear from time to time,
And I do like them being here, yes.
Kind of hard to put out.
Emailing and commenting and trying to tear me a new one. You know I love that, Terry. You know I get off on it. But, I mean, was that the most obvious joking comment in the world? And this girl is like, why are you degrading your co-host? Why are you degrading that woman? Well, first of all, because it's very easy. Second of all,
God, that's nice.
Because it's my business. And can I joke with her for a second and not you get all serious like it's a friggin' heart attack? Okay, I'm glad we could get that straight.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. All right. I feel better. Not really. Anyway, any Channing Tatum lookalikes in Terry Cam land this morning we need to know about, Terry, before we sign off, or what?
No.
Because the guy yesterday was a spitting image.
I said he was similar.
He was dead on. What are you talking about? Let her have a cocktail. Any lookalikes we should know about this morning, Terry?
No, because everybody's getting, it's been a crazy morning in the Terry Cam room.
Mm-hmm.
Only moderators are left.
There's not a Jim the Anvil Neidhart lookalike from back in the wrestling old school days, Terry, on Terry Cam this morning? Or
No.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody's,
So wait, Terry, gay phone operator's not on Terry Cam this morning?
No.
He's not?
No, because Hotshot decided to...
He's back now, isn't he?
No.
Yeah, he's back in now.
Where?
He's not on cam, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of drama today.
Yeah, there was tons of drama today.
There was drama in Terry Cam land? You didn't even tell me about it?
Well, it was happening
what was the drama?
so... Everybody's,
I need to know about all drama. There's no drama that happens on this show that I should not know about.
Well,
although I'm getting a little tired of the Terry Cam drama, but that's for me to tell you once you tell me about the drama. You're required to tell me about all drama. Did you boot gay phone operator out of Terry Cam?
No. It would be the hot shot.
I didn't kick. No, I didn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
I did not kick him.
Yeah.
I did not kick him out.
Well, what he did is he unmade him a moderator, so then those who are moderators can go ahead and kick.
All right, well,
it's just, yeah.
All right,
crazy.
Whatever. We'll figure it out.
That's why we don't take it because you're not interested.
I know, exactly.
I'm not interested. Doesn't mean I don't want to know about it.
Okay.
All right? Okay.
Oh, that's funny. There we go.
I'm glad one of us thinks so.
The T-Man Show.
Get on my tools. What do you think? Oh, geez. Hey, what's going on? Nice to see you on a Friday morning. What's happening there?
Not a whole lot.
You feeling all right?
Yeah, I think so.
You ready for the weekend?
Sure. Ow.
You got your medicine to start throwing down big time for the weekend, or what? Because the doctor said he wanted you to rest that throat, right?
He sure did.
You tell him you're not accustomed to resting your throat on the weekend?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, geez.
I know.
Well, it is a Friday morning, Terry. It's, April 25th, something like that? Sound about right?
Yeah,
Sounds good. And I guess that makes it the last Friday of the month of April 2008, if I'm doing the math right, don't you know? So let's make the last weekend of April 2008 spectacular.
Okay.
What that means, we'll have to figure out for ourselves at some point this morning, but that's the goal. All right?
Yep, sounds good to me.
Got to hear from a lot of people out there, find out what's going on, and we'll do all that after we make sure we don't get too far behind. We'll come back and things started right after these words.
The T-Man Show.
Good for Carmen Electra. E-News has confirmed Carmen got engaged to porn guitarist Rob Patterson last weekend in Las Vegas, where they were celebrating her 36th birthday. Reportedly, the ring is a black diamond set in white diamonds. Happy birthday, girl.
Oh, does this mean officially it's not going to work out for her and Dennis Rodman, Terry? Is that what I'm taking this away?
So.
Always a good idea to get engaged, and then why not follow it up with a marriage in Vegas? Always a great idea when you're drunk at 3:30 a.m. to look at each other and say, hey, why don't we get married? Isn't that always the best of decisions to be made, or what?
Always.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Especially when you're Carmen Electra and you're, 35 years old and entering your third time around as far as this marriage thing is concerned?
Third time.
Because she was married to Dave Navarro before she was married to Dennis Rodman. They did get married, right? They were married for a second there.
Yeah, actually it was Dennis Rodman first and then Dave Navarro.
Yeah, well, I mean, so I'm going backwards in order. And now this would be her third marriage to the guitarist from Korn. Nice.
Yeah, pretty sweet deal.
And it was her birthday. He realized he forgot to get her a present, so why not propose?
Yeah.
Probably the way it went down.
He's not young
Stroke
either.
of midnight. She's like, "What'd you get me?" "Oh, that's right. It's your birthday. Marry me?" Unbelievable.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess he did give her a ring with black and white diamonds.
Yeah. Ooh.
Very rock and roll.
Yes, black diamonds. Very rock and roll. Hey, Terry, what else is going out there besides us giving our best wishes to Carmen Electra? She's going to need them. What else is happening last week in April 2008 that you have on your little pile so far this morning?
Well, just a quick update for you on the Star Jones and Dwayne Wade situation. They're, of course, denying
I'm still shocked, Terry. I'm still shocked that we're talking about this.
I know.
Star Jones and Dwayne Wade, yes.
Deny,
Dwayne
deny.
Wayne. I mean, sure it's not. Are we sure it's not Dwayne Wayne from A Perfect World or whatever that was?
No.
About 20 years. That would make sense. Then I'd be like, okay, yeah, Star Jones and that dude sounds like it would make sense. But
That'd actually
Dwayne
be a
Wade,
good pull for him, right?
25-year-old superstar NBA, just a mega all-star, is hanging out and hooking up with Star Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Again, as I said late yesterday, if a guy like Dwayne Wade or Jamie Foxx or someone of that echelon, someone of that caliber wants to take down Oprah Winfrey, one of the most powerful women to ever walk the planet, that I could understand.
Right.
But Star Jones is not in that category. And actually, even in a pose down, Oprah Winfrey beats Star Jones even in a looks pose down, Terry.
Wow.
Not that that's the pose down you want to attend when they're taking off their clothes and they're being evaluated. But even looks-wise, Oprah wins that pose down. Don't you agree?
Well, quite honestly,
You think Star Jones is better looking than Oprah Winfrey?
Wow. Recently, of course, because of the gastric bypass.
Even with the gastric, even if the gastric turns out to have even better results, even if she loses another 30 pounds, I don't know if she needs to. I don't know if I've seen her up to the second, but I saw the picture with her and Dwayne Wade yesterday, Terry, and even if she loses another 20 pounds, she ain't beating Oprah. Not that this is saying all that much as far as looks, but Oprah wins as far as who's the better looking woman.
I'm going to disagree with you on that.
Really?
I am.
You're insane.
You know why? Because Oprah, outside of her studio, is looking ragged. Seriously.
Well, I've told you.
And unless she's going to walk around in her studio 24/7.
Yeah.
Seriously, but at least Star Jones, she's had some work done or whatever, and she can go outside.
That's where you must insist in having sex with Oprah Winfrey in her studio with all those special lights and special mirrors focusing on her, because I've told you that in her studio, yes, in the Harpo Productions built studio, the lights are just situated perfectly and the cameras are just focused just right, and she looks a hell of a lot different in her studio than she does out in the public when you see her at an award show or something else. But even taking into consideration how she looks when she goes to visit a school in Africa, or when she's seen in the crowd at the Academy Awards or the Grammys or whatever, even in those times, I still take her over Star Jones.
Okay, have fun.
I'm having fun too, Terry. I'm having fun. And I'm sure Jamie Foxx had some fun if those rumors are true, and a lot of people believe that they did hook up. But Dwayne Wade and Star Jones is still so over the top as far as interesting, Terry. What's the latest on those two?
On that they're denying. Deny.
Denying that they've hooked up.
Yes.
Denying that the rumors that are really starting to build as the minutes go by are not true. Anyone who's writing on a blog or anyone who's posting on an internet site, whether it's Perez Hilton or whatever site you may be going to, seeing the speculation that those two are hooking it up, it is not true, say their people. Now, I told you their people would have to come out with a statement, Terry.
Right.
I told you yesterday that they're going to have to address these rumors.
Right.
They've addressed the rumors, and they're saying it is absolutely just that, rumors. It is no truth whatsoever, or what?
Correct.
Have they ever... Well, how do they have that? Where is that picture from?
The picture is actually from a tennis tournament or something that they were
What the hell are they
both
doing in a tennis match together?
Well, I don't know. It doesn't.
They need to see Roger Federer so bad. They need to see, name a tennis player. I don't know much about what's going on in the tennis world. They need to see Andy Roddick so bad that they have to go together?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was some kind of celebrity deal or what. It could have very well been that where, they just so happened to be sitting by each other and somebody snapped the picture. That's not out of the realm of possibility.
All right, I wouldn't disagree and say that's out of the realm of possibility. They may have been at what kind of celebrity tennis matches are going on?
I don't know.
All right, but I'll still give it to you that maybe they were, just chatting it up, and before you know it, the rumors start running wild, but I still wonder... When was the last time you heard about a rumor that got so strong through the internet, through blogs, what have you, that turned out to have absolutely no truth whatsoever? When was the last time? Name the last rumor that turned out to have absolutely no truth.
All you have to do is go to various, Star and National Enquirer and MediaTakeout.com. There's plenty of rumors on there that
they always
there's no verification. Not always.
Name the last one that just was real vicious and built in momentum.
Now?
This is a vicious one, Tara. Yes.
Wow.
Of course,
Not
this is a vicious rumor. If it's not true, wouldn't you consider it vicious? They were both married.
I would just say it's not. It's an untrue rumor, and a lot of people in Hollywood and the celebrity status, athletic world, whatever, are starting to kind of laugh at a lot of these so-called rumors and stuff.
If there was a rumor out there on the internet, if blogs started writing, if it started in Terry Cam, maybe it's going to start right now, and then it's spread to other places that you were having a sexual affair with whoever. Wouldn't you consider that a vicious rumor if it wasn't true?
I wouldn't say vicious. I would say it was a rumor, and I'd laugh about it and go... I mean, vicious to me is like... I don't know. Vicious to me is a little bit more like... I don't know how to describe it. I don't think this is like a mean-spirited, vicious thing. I just think it's a rumor that's out there.
What you should have thrown out at me when I said name the last rumor that built in momentum that turned out not to be true. I was sitting on the answer for you, but I didn't want to help you out. You could have come up with the Tony Parker French model little rumor that was out there that had him apparently cheating on Eva Longoria in the first couple of months of their marriage. Apparently, as it turns out, that may not be the truth, but it should have been.
I'm holding out hope that that's true.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are.
Tony Parker's nuts for apparently having that French model lusting after him and not taking her down. But as it turns out, it looks like that rumor was nothing but a rumor and had no truth, unfortunately. So there are cases, yes. So there you go, T-Man. Ha-ha. Anyway, what else? What else is happening?
Where was it? Terrell Owens. I kind of moved my papers around. We saw pictures of him with the whole porn. He was in a porno
he was
whatever.
in the Bang Brothers little snapshot with the porn stars floating around on the streets
internet,
of Miami or whatever. Yeah, that's a rumor that's hard to deny when you're sitting there smiling away in a picture.
Well,
with porn stars on the Bang Brothers little float or wherever they were hanging out.
Yes, I understand that. Well, according to his people, he's saying his people are saying that he didn't purposely appear at a porno video shoot. He was just out and about in Miami one day, and wandered into it. Oh, check it out. Here's a camera and a setup, and there's a hot chick showing up.
Miami's just a fun place. It's not every street. So. Not every street in America where you got the Bang Brothers little setup rolling by in your street, huh?
Yeah.
Only in fun places like South Beach, in Miami, in certain spots, maybe in L.A., maybe once in a while in other parts of California, Terry. Yeah, you might have the Bang Brothers. And anyone who's a fan of any free porn site these days knows exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe you're not aware of them, Terry. Maybe you are.
I've never heard of them.
Never heard of the Bang Brothers?
No.
Never heard of Brazzers?
No. I don't hear about these websites until you guys bring it up.
Well,
Boys Food, what the heck? Max Porn or whatever?
Yeah, you're a big fan now. We're bringing it up, and we know now you're a big fan of the Bang of Bros.
Yeah, whatever.
Bang Brothers got it done, Terry.
Do they?
And that's why Terrell Owens, as soon as he saw their little truck rolling by, it was like the ice cream man. He went running after it.
Don't ask for the nutty buddy. Although there's a little too much talking with them, I think. It kind of bugs me.
Oh, jeez.
Well,
we're going to get into the intricacies of the whole...
Yeah. I agree. I don't need your commentary all the way through the clip. I don't need to hear the Bang Brothers doing all the talking with the...
Nice. Those are great.
You guys really doing it now. This one is a good one. Yeah, I don't need their...
down there. Oh, yeah.
We got to get word to them. They got to shut up. At least they could talk maybe for the first 30 seconds of their video, and then there comes a point they got to shut up.
Thank you.
I mean, I thought you would agree because you came up with the point. And it's a great point.
I'm glad you're feeling me on that.
No doubt about it. I can almost not get to a Bang Brothers clip because they talk too much.
Volume down.
And by the way...
And I don't like to keep the volume down. I need volume.
Yeah, it does help.
I mean, I put my headsets on for this stuff.
Headsets on, buck naked.
What bothers you, Terry?
Well, I was just going to tell you, trying to change the subject off of the whole porno thing and you guys getting into your little world of pornos, which you often do and kind of get sidetracked.
Oh, geez. You mean in our lives?
Yeah. I just wanted to point out to you, and this is kind of on the Terrell Owens little situation, but going back to Eli Manning. You know how you said that, he wasn't living his life right, got married, yada, yada, yada?
Was that Eli Manning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well... There are pictures of him on drunkathlete.com.
Drunkathlete.com.
Yeah, getting it done right with a lot of hot chicks and looking pretty
Really?
wasted.
There are pictures of Eli Manning on drunkathlete.com hanging around a gaggle of girls?
Yeah, he's looking cute little blonde there on one, and
you can
actually scroll through and
skull through him, Terry.
That was
was that the jargon back when you were in the days hanging out on the dirtyathlete.com world, or what?
Right. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of little pictures there of a lot of drunk athletes like Eli
I would guess that's kind of the concept
Jordan.
of drunkathlete.com, that you might find some drunk athletes in a little bit of a situation on drunkathlete.com. And is the front page picture Eli Manning with a gaggle of girls, Terry?
It's Eli Manning looking pretty drunk with one hot little blonde girl.
Is it his way out of it by saying, well, that was my bachelor party scene, and that's really not me, but the boys took me out. I had to put up a front like, last single night of my life. Okay, here I go. Is that a way he can get out of this, or what?
Maybe so. They're just pictures. There's not any, subtitles or explanation.
Is there any identification in that picture as to where he may be as far as a landmark or a sign or something like that?
No. You got Matt Leinart with a gaggle of 4 chicks in a hot tub.
We've seen those pictures. Yeah, we talked about those pictures last week. Matt Leinart's a single guy who's getting in trouble with his coach. I told you that's the way you're supposed to be spending your 20s when you're an NFL or NBA or even Major League Baseball superstar. You're supposed to be hanging out in the hot tub with the 4 girls and giving them beer bongs down the throat and all that stuff, Terry. That's the way it's supposed to be going down.
Okay.
Baron Davis getting a lap dance. Cool. All right.
Well, this isn't him, giving a beer bong. It's just him in a hot tub with a bunch of girls.
Baron Davis getting a lap dance on drunkathlete.com?
This is great.
And then there's Josh Howard.
Baron Davis, who was getting in trouble with his head coach in the last week of the season when the playoffs were hanging in the balance, is on drunkathlete.com getting a lap dance?
He is.
By one girl or multiple girls?
I can only see one, but I mean, who knows how long ago this was taken?
How's she look? How's she look? I need my computer. I got to turn my computer.
From what I can see, she looks great. I mean, she's a stripper. So
Ben yeah, you know who he is.
Oh, geez, Ben Roethlisberger.
Ben, with a drink in hand, looking pretty wasted.
Wow.
Larry Johnson.
Big, dumb-looking athlete.
Josh Howard, is he Football, basketball?
Nice basketball team.
Oh, is he? Well, he's
Thanks for playing, yeah.
No, that's why I asked you. He's there on drunkathletes.com with a chick who looks like a vampire. She's got...
I love chicks that look like vampires.
Like straggle tooth that looks kind of... Yeah.
So what? You're just
there's Eli Manning with a girl like all over him.
Terry's excited. Terry loves drunkathletes.com. It's one of her favorite sites now. Is this your first time on the site there, Hot Shot? You love it?
I've never even heard of it. Awesome. I've seen some of these pictures before, but not all of them. This is great.
How about Terry finding in her stories information that leads us to drunkathlete.com, which shows athletes in their more let my hair down kind of moments.
Finally, Terry useful, bringing something to the table.
Shocking.
How about Terry Free opening the door to the world, having the door be open to drunkathlete.com?
Yeah.
Could be a site for all we know that went up 2 weeks ago.
It's a pretty archaic site.
But all I know is it's here now.
Good, right?
Yeah, they didn't spend a lot of money on it.
It's the kind of site people are going to love, right? Seeing athletes just tearing it up. Nothing better than that, than to get a little spy moment into the world when they think they're, being protected and in private and doing their thing, and all of a sudden cameras are clicking, and the next minute it's up on drunkathlete.com. Wives may be happy. Wives of athletes may see this. Who knows? The wives of the athletes could be behind this site. Wives of the athlete are definitely going to be happy that this site exists so that the athletes feel like at any moment the curtain could be pulled off the situation and they could be exposed for the behaviors that they didn't want to get out there to the world.
Yeah, Eli looks pretty drunk in this one. Wow.
Yeah. Did you see the one where she... Well, yeah, the blonde.
The wives of these athletes who end up on Oprah complaining and whining and bitching about how their lives were ruined by their athlete husbands, instead now could be keeping tabs on their husband by checking out drunkathlete.com every second. You can picture the athlete's wife who's all suspicious sitting there hitting refresh every 5 seconds to see if her husband shows up.
That's quite the life she's carved out, huh?
1-866-663-T-Man. It is a Friday morning, which means I want to take a lot of calls.
Dirty Adam Morrison, not handsome at all, with the hottest girl ever next to him. Really? Wow, it's good to be him.
I saw Adam Morrison playing poker in the Bellagio.
I think it's Vegas.
He just seemed like a real down-to-earth, just kind of hang out in the crowd and not feel like he's a big-timer at all. It was kind of cool. I kind of got a good vibe from him that he didn't feel like he was, feeling sometimes like Nelly playing poker. He has no choice but to feel like everyone's staring at him, and you get the sense that he's always feeling like everyone's looking at him and stuff. Adam Morrison, you could just get the sense that he's just in his own little spot, and he doesn't worry about who's where and what's what, and he's just hanging out with the regulars, and there's something cool about that, He just feels like a regular guy, probably because he's not nearly as noticed as a lot of athletes, although he is 6'10".
Right. If you're prepared to wear long hair and a mustache, you really don't care. You're really not trying to impress
anybody. Mustache at age 22 with the long hair at 6'10", so he is definitely noticeable. But he was
see the girl next to him. Looks good.
Adam Morrison, really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Look like he's at a strip club or what?
Dumb Spokane guy can even get it done. Good for him, man. No, it looks like Vegas because I see like an Eiffel Tower behind him, but I have a feeling it's not the Eiffel Tower.
So it looks like he's in the Paris Hotel.
It looks like he's on the Strip across from the Paris Hotel.
So he's hanging out on the Strip, drinking, and with a hot-ass girl in his...
Drinking in one hand and some hot girl coming up wanting her picture taken with him.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, what's...
I'm just saying. He's sure he could make it happen if he had to.
Mm-hmm.
Girls aren't running up to me wanting their picture taken with me, that's for sure.
Well, you don't get out there that much. You never know.
That's true.
If Hot Shot Scott made a big appearance in Vegas, a lot of the ladies would be asking have their picture taken with the big cuddly Hot Shot Scott. You never know.
Drunkexathletes.com.
1-866-663-T-Man is the number to call. As I said, early morning callers who feel like they don't often get their shot to be heard. Anything that needs to be spoken about this morning. The number is toll-free, 1-866-663-T-Man. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello?
Yes?
I just wanted to request a song.
Okay, what do you want to hear? Why are we whispering?
I don't know. She sounds like it. She's the one who started it.
I kind of like it.
Do ya?
Although she sounds like she may be underage.
I know. Be careful.
This is your fault, Tari.
No, it's not. That was my fault.
Tell her she shouldn't call back. We should put her on hold until she's 18.
Okay, hey, young lady, you should probably call
years. You 6-year-old.
She's going, what the heck's going on?
You're on the air. Who's this?
You're whispering. She's 14.
Oh, days. Chris Hansen's here already. Jacob, hello.
Whoa.
Hello, how you doing?
What's up, bud?
How's it going?
Pretty good. What's happening?
This is T-Man, huh?
Yeah, that's where you got. That's where you call. That's who you're with.
T-Man, I just wanted to know. I needed some help here.
Uh-huh.
All right, so my girl, her vagina's been smelling just a little bit.
Nice.
We're off to a rousing start this morning, aren't we, Terry? Although that is a problem that does tend to surface, especially around the weekend, Terry.
Right.
But you're going to have to phrase it a little bit more delicately if we're going to really pursue the conversation, all right?
I'm going to go ahead and cancel my seafood omelet order.
When you start your dilemma that bluntly, there's really no room to play with. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, it depends who she is.
Let me go to Dominic in Fairfield and see where we're at. Yes, Dominic.
Hey, what's up, T-Man?
How are you, Dom?
I'm doing good, man. I'm on the way to work. I just wanted to say something about the drunken athletes. I think it's pretty funny. They get a little bit of attention that they're trying to avoid, and I bet you J-Lo would have paid good money to see Ben up there beforehand.
Ben Affleck? Who up there?
Ben Affleck. No, I'm just saying.
He's not really the most athletic type in the world.
Right, I haven't seen him.
Yeah, but you're missing the whole concept of athlete.
There you go.
Oh, I'm just saying. I know athletes, but I'm just saying just celebrities in general. But
yeah, there was that story about Ben Affleck being at Brandy's in Vancouver, Canada.
Oh yeah.
And you don't remember that, Terry?
No, I do.
When he was hanging out with J-Lo and they were considering getting married, all of a sudden the picture surfaced of him and a bunch of strippers at Brandy's where they tend to get a little physical more than the maybe average strip club. And we know every average strip club still gets physical, but this one even to a greater degree. It's all about the VIP room, baby. And Brandy's tends to have the VIP room that you're able to negotiate them to come home with you kind of situation. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's the best kind of VIP room. Where not only do things go on in the VIP room, Terry, I know you know this and you don't need to hear me tell you this because I know you're more aware of this than anyone, Terry, but in the VIP rooms that men tend to like the best at strip clubs, not only do they get more, up close and personal in the VIP room itself, but you're able to negotiate a deal where you can take them home with you. Those are the best VIP rooms that guys tend to appreciate at their strip clubs of choice. And that's the kind of VIP room that apparently Brandy's is all about. And that's where Ben Affleck got in a little trouble. And so did, by the way, at the same place, so did Nick Lachey apparently get in trouble. And if that little Giggy-Doo can make it happen in that spot, then even though he tends to, at least in women's eyes, be a little bit handsome, and I'd like to fight him on that, but maybe I'm just jealous. Anyway, he had the same kind of circumstance happen to him. That's when the first sign of trouble started to go down between him and Jessica Simpson, if you remember back a few years ago, Terry. Yeah. So, Dominic, what is the website address exactly? Is it drunkenathlete.com? And there's no... Drunken is spelled...
I haven't checked it out yet, but I'm going to check it out once I get to work on my iPhone. See, I work in the military, so I can't check on those computers.
I understand.
It's not drunken, it's just drunkathlete.com.
Oh, drunkathlete.com. Drunkathlete.com, and everything's spelled exactly the way it should. There's no little cutesies in there or anything.
It's a pretty brutal site, though, so... It's
pretty brutal, meaning what?
It's put together like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no good graphics or anything, and it just looks pretty archaic, but it works.
Well, like I said, this thing may, for all we know, sites are going up every day. This thing could have been put together within the past 2 weeks, and maybe the more popular it gets, the more they'll upgrade it, but that just lends to the possibility that this thing kind of just got put together in the past week or so.
And you have to scroll all the way down to see your pictures. It's kind of weird.
And even though it's kind of archaic as far as technology of today is concerned, it's still worth going to, you're saying?
No question. I'm just going to have random laughs throughout the show from looking at pictures. I'm going to look at every single one, probably.
So they got a whole bunch of pictures up, even though the navigating and the the graphics are pretty lame. You're saying the pictures, there's a bunch of them to look at.
Oh, yeah.
A whole slew of them.
Oh, yeah. You name it. Brady Quinn, this Chicago Bears pictures, Chris Bosh, Cleveland Browns, you name it.
Brady Quinn, who a year ago was the toast of the town, the hot pick of the NFL draft, which takes place tomorrow, and then was sitting there forever waiting to be called on some team. He's on drunkathlete.com doing what?
Brady Quinn is the life of the party, it says.
Oh, I love captions like that, yes.
He's throwing up some, oh, man. What a dork.
That is a random laugh. What do you got?
Big
He
random
just looks
laugh.
like a doof, but he's with some hot girls. Holy crap.
Hey, it tends to drain away the doofness factor when you're sitting around hot girls.
No doubt.
Dominic, anything else you needed to add?
No, I just want to say, man, your show is the funniest. You know, I think I will listen to this for the rest of my life. But thanks for having me on, T-Man.
All right, thanks, Dom. Take care, buddy. That's wild, Dom, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Yeah. He's sitting in a boat in a couple of them. He's sitting with, like, 8 girls just doing some sick little Spider-Man pose with a beer in his hand.
Brady Quinn in a boat?
Yeah.
With 6 girls?
Well, the boat, he's throwing up gang signs by himself, but then there's another picture where he's with, like, 6 girls standing around a table or something. I don't know what they're doing.
See, Terry, Brady Quinn, who already has question marks all around him as far as his athletic career in the NFL, already has really started to cast doubts in all of his followers' minds as to whether he'll ever be anything in the NFL, is already surpassed Eli Manning. Even though similar pictures exist of Eli Manning, I'm not buying those as much as I'm accepting that Brady Quinn knows how to live the life. All right, you know what I'm saying?
I hear ya.
6 girls in a boat?
Yeah, it looks great.
6 girls in a boat.
All right, let me check out this site.
And if you have
if
you have a picture of a drunk athlete, you can send it to staff@synergyofsports.com.
Oh, you know I will. Not really. 1-866-663 T-Man. Back after these words. Nick.
Yo.
What's up, bud?
What's up, man?
What's the situation, buddy?
Oh, man. My
Hey, you got a
pregnant
problem?
wife doesn't want to eat very much because she thinks I'm going to leave her if she gets fat.
Oh, that's sad.
Now, why would a pregnant woman, Terry, who obviously has justification for gaining weight, get all obsessed and kind of paranoid that if she gains weight, her husband's going to be walking out on her? What kind of mental issue is that Nick and more so his wife is dealing with there?
How about society?
Which, of course, by the way, Nick didn't mention that she's right, but obviously she shouldn't be thinking that. Every woman has a rationalization, I would think, for putting on a couple of pounds when she's pregnant. Is this your first child, Nick, or you've had a few? What's the story there?
This is my first.
This is your first. So you're probably over the top with those first child worries that she's supposed to gain the right amount of weight during the pregnancy, and maybe you're being a little over the top with her to some degree on, it says here in the book you're supposed to have gained 9 pounds by now, or are you giving her, issues? Are you being too minute to minute with everything, or you're giving her moments to relax and let the pregnancy go easy? What's your stance on this whole thing?
I try to make her eat more because she lost 7 pounds.
She's lost 7 pounds since she got pregnant.
Yeah, well, she gained 2 of them back. But
is it typical, Terry, when you get pregnant for the first time, especially, that you may lose weight before you put some on?
Yes.
Nick may be stressing around. A lot of dudes, especially guys who are more happy about having the child than maybe some guys who may not be, who could care less. A guy who's having his first baby can be too much, Terry, when the woman is carrying their first child, and you got to sit down, you're not supposed to pick that up, and you're not supposed to be doing this, and it just becomes a big worry-wart situation that could make the whole situation very stressful. I wonder if Nick's that kind of guy.
No, I'm just doing what the doctor said. She's got to eat every 2 hours. She eats 2, maybe 3 times a day.
Why would she be thinking that you're going to leave her, Nick? Where the hell does she think you'd be going?
I have
you don't
no idea.
sound like a guy we're about to see on drunkathlete.com. You don't sound like the biggest player out there that she really has a lot to worry about. Are you sure that's the situation? She told you point blank, I don't want to gain weight because I'm afraid you'll leave me?
Yeah, she thinks that I'm going to leave her if she gets fat. She thinks I look at other women a lot.
Well,
so she thinks I'm going to be leaving her.
Why do women have a problem with men looking at other women? Don't they realize that that's natural? Don't they realize that when they see a good-looking guy in a coffee joint or in the bank or wherever, in the grocery store, that their heads turn a little bit? Don't they realize that? And don't they know that's more or less human nature, and that is not necessarily indicative of somebody who's going to be walking out on their significant other, Terry? There really isn't necessarily a correlation between a guy who looks a little bit or a lot and his propensity for walking out on her. Do women realize that, or is that still a problem?
The thing is, sometimes it does depend on, you know, the past in their relationship, if there was issues prior to that. Also, too, being that she is pregnant, she is feeling a little insecure because...
Why? Why should she feel insecure? Because she's pregnant. She should feel more insecure than anything.
I know, but...
There's a lot of hormones going on, I know.
Yeah,
but every woman's still these days worried about a wandering eye. Guys who have a wandering eye, the chances of them actually... You have to worry about more of a wandering dick than a wandering eye. Let me just put it that way. Guys who have a wandering eye obviously don't feel this need to be putting the cover up on all the time. You know what I'm saying? Guys who really have something to feel guilty about probably have less of a likelihood to be straying as far as their eyes are concerned, Terry, to have their necks turning and their eyes wandering because they're more on guard. You know, they're more in protective mode, and they're less likely to let their necks turn when a hot-ass woman walks by because they're always thinking about a cover-up.
Well, I mean...
So if anything, your wandering eye guy should in some sense, even though it's a little annoying and a little disrespectful, I could probably understand that to some small degree. But it should make you feel more secure to some extent than anything. Your guy's not always thinking about how he's got to cover his tracks if he's letting himself and letting his eyes wander. Isn't there something to be said about that, or you don't like that theory?
Well...
Trust me, that theory makes sense, but if you don't agree, then speak.
Then you're wrong.
Whoa.
But I still want to hear about it. Right?
No.
You would be wrong, yes. You would be wrong.
I mean, the thing is that it's you know, obviously she, for whatever reason, and oftentimes we do get a lot of men and women who call saying only their side of the story when if we were to call her to find out really what the situation is.
I don't need to call her. I know she would say, my husband's got such a wandering eye that he gawks at women. I find it very disrespectful, and I know
then
he's
maybe he needs to knock that crap off. And, you know.
Well, Terry.
I mean, I understand the whole, you can't, when you see an attractive person, sure, you acknowledge that person's attractive. But how bad is he a gawker? I mean, is he obnoxious and like, whoa, baby, you know, hey, she is hot. I wouldn't mind doing her.
Well, the fact that he's even, if he's sharing it like that with his woman, then isn't there something to be said about that? If he's sharing his feelings about how hot another woman is, yes, it can be labeled as a tad disrespectful, but there's something to be said about the fact that he's not covering up and he's always scheming behind her back. And that should make a woman feel more secure than she would ordinarily with a guy who, everything seems perfect on the surface, but behind the scenes, he's digging around like no man ever has. That's the ones you really have to worry about, I think, but maybe that's just me. It sounds like Nick, Terry, is genuinely concerned with his wife's first-time pregnancy situation. She should be gaining weight by now, and she's told you in very clear terms that she's scared about putting on weight because she's really, truly scared that you may walk out on her.
Well, if I ask her why she won't eat, and she's like, if I get fat, I think you're going to leave me.
Doesn't she realize that with pregnancy comes weight gain, and with pregnancy comes, I don't know if you'd call it fat, but a larger status, a larger state of being to some extent on a physical basis? Isn't she aware that that's the inevitable, and she doesn't want to prevent that from happening? Don't you? Does she need that explained to her?
Yeah, I tried to tell her that, and she's not fat already. She only weighs 100 pounds.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
So that's a little thing. Gotta gain some weight.
Mm-hmm. But she's losing weight, so wait till other women hear that's the latest fad, the latest dieting craze.
How long you been together, Nick? How long you been with her? Nick, how long you been with her, Nick?
We just had our 1-year anniversary in March. I called you and asked you for some cheap wedding anniversary advice.
Oh, I remember that call.
Have you ever cheated on her to make her this kind of... you've never had any kind of episode that she's kind of caught you in more than your eyes wandering?
Nope.
Have you ever had to cover up a situation between you and me, and don't worry, no one else is listening? Are you someone who has anything that's on your mind as I ask this question to you that you have to feel guilty about?
No.
That maybe her gut is telling her something is not right with her man, that instinctively she senses that you're cheating on her?
No.
And why would she be this insecure, Terry?
Well, first of all, as we all know, anytime... Are you guys married? No? Yes?
Yeah.
What?
They're a married couple, yes.
Okay, you're married for about a year.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why she would be so insecure. If maybe she was always that way. Was she always an insecure type person?
Oh, I came up with the answer.
Not that I know of.
It was right under our nose all the time as to why she's insecure. You want to know the answer?
Yes.
Terry, that was just staring at us in the face the whole way along here, and yet we're speculating for no reason. Because she's a woman!
Oh, gee.
I had that was my second answer, yeah.
Yes, Nick.
I gotta get to work. My boss is out here tripping.
All right, well, take care of this problem maybe on Monday. There. Poor Nick, Terry. His wife is losing weight, and she's pregnant with his first child.
You want to hang on to that job, having a kid, my friend?
Yeah.
Might be the best path to starting the baby's life off right, keeping the job intact to some degree. Yes, indeed.
There's definitely women out there going, wait, she lost weight? Getting pregnant? Oh, I'm trying this weekend. I'm going to get so skinny.
Yeah, someone's writing a book on that. Now, Terry, somebody's... don't get me wrong. Men can be just as insecure, if not more insecure type creatures than women. But when women are insecure, and there are a lot of them, and don't
I wonder
argue
why
with me 'cause you
women
know
are
they
so...
are.
No, I do know. And why is that?
Well,
why is that really?
I'll answer your question after you hear my statement. Yes, there are tons of men out there that are insecure, and it's a damn shame that anyone has to be. But when men are insecure, it's like when women are insecure, it's just so pathetic, Terry. I mean, why? It's just so sad when women get all clingy and insecure. About what? About a man? About a disgusting, grody man most of the time?
It's not even really about a man. It's just, why again are women so insecure?
I don't know, Terry. Maybe
it's
ask
because...
yourselves that question.
How about I'll give you the answer. How about the images that society thinks that we should be, from the magazines
Terry, you could be whatever you want to be.
Especially the porn sites, et cetera,
No one should tell you what you should be except yourself.
You're right. But...
And if you can't be happy with the decisions you make, and you have no choice but to let outside influences do just that and influence your life when you'd rather be something else, well, then that's your problem.
But
and that's another symptom of your insecurities that obviously must be addressed, because it's so pathetic that I didn't want to know about it.
But yet when you have, people such as yourself talking about...
Oh, you're blaming me now? I forgot I'm the source of all the world's problems. I tend to forget that from minute to minute. I didn't realize at this very second that it's my fault. Thanks for reminding me, Terry. Yes, if there's a problem in the world, the common denominator is the T-man, don't you know? Mm-hmm.
Do you want to hear something or not?
No, I already heard what you had to say, Terry.
All right. Put on a one piece. How does that sound? Oh,
I'm
really?
sorry, are you trying to imitate me right there? Is that your...
Well, I can't because I have throat issues, but...
Well, so you're saying if you didn't have throat issues, you'd do a perfect T-man impersonation right there? Is that what you were
I can.
alluding to? So you were trying to muster up the juice. You were trying to muster up the energy and all that goes into putting out a T-man impersonation right there. Is that what you were trying to do, Terry? Is that what I almost heard you attempt?
Yep.
Well, I love a nice little piece of comedy, Terry. I like a nice little piece of anything, pretty much. But
do you?
Comedy certainly is right up there with all the rest. So why don't you give it one more shot? I know your throat's having issues. I know the doctor told you to try to back it down a little bit, and I'd like to help you along in that process. But you're the one who started this. You threw out your T-man impersonation, and I think I might have stepped over it a little bit. So I don't want to deprive anyone of Terry's attempt at doing the T-man, so to speak.
Put on a one piece.
Oh, man. Lord. Speaking of One Pieces, Jimmy Johnson, the old Dallas Cowboys coach.
Jesus.
It's not as good to be him, actually, with the ladies on drunkathlete.com. Lots of women in One Pieces with Jimmy Johnson. A little older.
Picture of Jimmy Johnson on drugalcohol.com with a bunch of older ladies in a one-piece.
Hot-ass 50-year-olds in one-pieces.
Wasted.
Yes.
So you're telling me, Terry, if I'm to translate you correctly.
What, T-Man? What am I telling you?
You're apparently telling me, if I'm understanding you right, that I'm out of bounds when I tell women who have no real business being in a
Whoa. Stop right there. Stop right there.
Dental floss bikini.
Stop right there.
No, I'm not going to stop right there. I'm going to finish my point.
Because, what did you say? They have no business? How do you know they have no business? Because it's it's your opinion. Maybe the way they look at themselves in the mirror, they're like, cool, I love my body. I don't care what I look like. That's right. I do what I want. I'll walk around butt naked on a naked-ass beach.
Yep. Let me ask you the question.
And if more women and men had that mentality, especially women, we probably wouldn't have the
Well, then let me ask you the question. Forget about me. Let me ask you the question. Do you think there are certain bodies out there? Do you think there are certain women with certain figures, so to speak, with certain sizes that it doesn't matter what the particular, weight, actual mathematics come to if they get on the scale and the first number is, let's say, a 3, Terry? Do you think that woman really should be walking on the beach in a dental floss thin bikini 2-piece situation, Terry? Is that what you're telling me right now?
If that's what she wants to do, why not? If she's okay with it,
then she's subjecting herself to all kinds.
Why is she subjecting herself? Why? Why?
Because I didn't make the rules.
Society.
Don't blame me for the rules that are in place. Okay, don't blame me for telling you the way things are. But if a woman who is 340 pounds is walking on a bikini on a sandy beach with a dental floss thin 2-piece bikini on, she's going to be subjecting herself to comments. And if she doesn't want those comments, or she's bothered by those comments, then she shouldn't put on one of those bikinis that are usually reserved for a harder,
just because she doesn't look like some, high-priced hooker.
Oh, geez. So any girl with a good body is a high-price hooker now. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
any girl who's working
that's what everybody's ideal is, right? You guys, gotta love that.
Women. You got women in major positions of power in the business world these days that go to work out after their workday is done. And you're telling me that if they get their bodies just right, like they have their careers, that they have become high-class hookers, in your opinion? Is that what I am hearing
All
right
I'm
now?
saying is...
have a cocktail!
All I'm saying is, it's unfortunate that society is making me work too hard.
Make him? I can't understand.
He's a man whore.
Let me tell you, Alex Smith of the 49ers loves tequila.
Who wouldn't like a nice little shot of tequila?
That's a good point.
Who is pushing away a shot of Patron these days? Tell me. Who's the person?
Yeah.
Who out there is partying in Vegas? Who out there is in your club of choice, in the Bay, in the Northwest, in L.A., in any good spot on the West Coast and is saying, I'm not interested in the tequila. Thank you so much, though. Who is that person? Who? Pot of wine pays. That's how you do it, Terry.
Well, I can't do it that way now.
You do it with that kind of enthusiasm? You don't do it at all, okay? Just so you know? Okay. Alexis in Hayward, you're on the air, baby. What's up?
How you doing? I just wanted to let you know, to go back into the mode about the insecurity thing. You're right. I'm going to have to let you know you're right on that one. What society needs to realize, and as us females need to realize, that we need to love each other ourselves first.
Right.
And no one can take that away from us. It
Right.
don't matter what society thinks about what you think about yourself.
Right.
And my dad is a strong figure in my life, and he let me know that if you love yourself more than anything, nothing can destroy you, nothing can go against saying how you think.
I think we should be playing a song in the background here, Terry. Isn't this wonderful? You happen
I'm trying to give you props on what you say.
No, that was me. I hear you, and it sounds terrific.
Wasn't T-Man, it was Terry.
What was that?
She was trying to give you props about it.
I understand, and I hear her. I'm just saying I should be playing a song in the background.
You're right, though, but you know what I'm saying? It's just the way they want to blame it on society, but you know what? If you feel like you weigh 300 pounds, you
And another day
Can't say
like
that
this.
word on the air. Hope your dad didn't teach you that, along with all the other good stuff. But she She threw in the S word, Terry, and trying to finish out her point, and I had to dump the last 8 seconds of that, unfortunately. That's how it works around here. Off the air. I can't help but say the same things myself. I got to be honest, in my regular way of speaking, and yet I've learned. Sometimes I forget, Terry, but I've learned.
Yes.
To curb it on the air. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
So anyone who's headed to the gym right now, be careful of getting your body just right, because Terry Free made sure it be known.
Oh, no,
that if your body is right enough to be wearing the skimpiest little bikinis this summer, well, you are just a cheap-ass hoe.
I didn't say that, and by the way...
That is kind of what you said,
No,
Terry.
it's not.
Maybe you didn't mean that,
Are you going to let me
that
talk?
Is what you said.
I can't scream. You know I can't.
Okay.
So can you listen to what I have to say?
Of course I can.
What I'm saying is...
But that's why you said that.
Every woman it needs to be comfortable with who she is, her body type, style, whatever, in order to feel secure about who she is as a woman as a whole. So if you've got the woman out there who wants to go to the gym because it makes her feel good about herself, then so be it. If you've got the 300-pound woman who's like, you know what, I don't feel the need to do that, then...
What about blah?
And blah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I
John,
don't need
you're
to
on
do
the
that.
air.
I'm still happy with who I am and how my body is. Who cares
that'd be
about
wonderful.
what?
That'd be really terrific
Right.
if that was the case across the board.
I would
More
wish
people
it to
should
be.
feel that way.
Yeah, I do as
and
well.
blame other women for women feeling insecure about themselves more often than not. John, you're on the air.
Hi, how are you?
Pretty good, John. Thanks for asking. What can I do for you, sir?
I was just wanted to comment about the insecurity thing.
All right. I think it's human nature, by the way, to be insecure. And you know what? Sometimes insecurity fuels a certain level of desire that gets you places. If you're too secure in life, you tend to be more lazy than the next person who's more secure. So don't push away insecurity so fast. Sometimes insecurity can really fuel some fire in you that can get you motivated to do good things.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind before we all feel like insecurity's the devil. Yes, John, continue on.
I agree, and I think women are insecure too. I do a lot of traveling on the road, and I see a lot of guys, I call it Hawkeye-ing their girlfriend, as I've done in the past. You know, when I see a nice car with rims or something, you kind of look at your lady to make sure she's not going to be catching the attention. Or I think all women look for attention, and I think it's just part of nature.
What the hell is this guy saying when he checks out other cars? His girlfriend gets all insecure?
What's that?
Look at that car.
Yeah.
You want to be with that car or me? I'm not so sure I understand. All right, yeah, thanks for the call. He gets caught staring at other cars, Terry.
Yeah, he's insecure about that. Well, you know they say that a lot of men buy cars.
If his girlfriend walks off the scene, she comes back and his dilly's in the tailpipe. I don't know where he was going with that, but I don't know how checking out cars has anything to do with the situation. My point was just this.
Good morning.
As I've said, a little insecurity can serve a person well, but sometimes you got certain, especially ladies out there, that hit certain heights of insecurity levels that just get so bordering and past the border of pathetic that it's a sad story. That's all I'm talking about. That was my only point, Terry. A little bit of insecurity can be very helpful. You cross the line like apparently this wife of this man who started this whole conversation, who insists to her husband that she's afraid to gain weight in her pregnancy because she has these ridiculous fears, and he made it clear that they are exactly that, ridiculous fears, that if she's to gain weight, which you're supposed to do to have a healthy baby in her pregnancy, that she's concerned her husband's going to walk out the door. I mean, that's sad and obviously past the border of unhealthy, Terry. Not only is it unhealthy for her not to gain weight and try to do everything she can to not gain weight in a pregnancy, but she's putting her unborn child's life in jeopardy.
I understand that.
That's the kind of insecurity we're talking about here that needs to be worked over. My gosh. Did he sound like a guy who's put any reason, I mean, yes, we don't know him across the board. We don't know, we haven't done an amazing amount of research on this particular guy who called, but just from what we heard, did he sound like the kind of guy who seems like he's saying one thing, but in reality doing another and putting fears in his wife's mind that truly, if she does gain weight, that he may frown upon that and start to be turned off by her? Did you get that sense at all?
No, I did not.
Of course not. Well, then why is she acting that way, Terry? What the hell is wrong with her?
I'm not her, so I don't know. I can't answer for her.
Well, she better get some help. Because if she continues to try to diet and keep weight off in this pregnancy, I think he said they're going on like the 4th or 5th month and she hasn't gained any weight.
She said she lost 7 pounds but gained 2 back.
So she's -5 since the baby's conception?
Yeah.
Obviously, more than just starting to get concerning.
Yes.
But she refuses to gain weight because she has visions of her husband walking out on her if she gets fat.
Well, what it's going to come to is her doctor is going to have to really, keep reminding her as well. Again.
You will be fat someday, ma'am.
Does anyone even consider that fat? Does anyone look at a pregnant woman and say you're fat? No, you get obviously a pass when you're pregnant as far as being referred to or thought of as fat. It's not fat.
Yeah, but some women take
baby weight.
Yeah,
some women take the eating for two thing a little too far.
Yeah, some women gain like 80, 90 pounds, which is an unhealthy amount.
I don't think it's unhealthy if you can lose it and get back into a more healthy situation.
Oh, you said
if you could gain 80 pounds in your pregnancy and then get back,
it's unhealthy. A doctor will tell you that. It's not. That's the danger from the other side. It's unhealthy.
Well, I'm glad you told me that. But I think the normal weight gain is, let's say you're 120 pounds, to put on at least 20, 30 pounds, right there? About 20 pounds.
Fine, yeah, 20 to 30 pounds max.
All right. If you wanted to go up to 40 or 45 pounds, though,
they don't, they don't.
Because you enjoy eating during your pregnancy. If you feel comfortable and confident that you can get, relatively close back to the original weight, then what's the big deal? No one's going to call you fat when you're pregnant. Oh. Anyone who calls you fat when you're pregnant is a little bit ridiculous. Wouldn't we all agree on that?
Yes.
So then why is this woman being so ridiculously over the top with insecurities, Terry?
I do
why
not
should it
know.
Be that way?
I do not know. And it's sad that it is. Because you're right. She's putting a lot of things at risk.
Mm-hmm. 1-866-663-T-Man. Back after these words.
T-Man Show.
It just gets kinkier and kinkier for New York's disgraced Love Gov. Was Elliot Spitzer really into sex toys? Oh. Yes. A second unidentified hooker is reportedly singing to the feds that Spitzer had a penchant for props in his illegal encounters with his high-priced call girls.
Wow, a second hooker has come forward to the FBI, Terry, and is saying Governor Elliot Spitzer not only made it happen with her for pay, but was pulling out all the tool belt of toys, Terry.
That's not
nice.
all pulling out.
Now, is it your sense that he would use these toys on the hookers that he was paying, or he was requesting that they use them on him?
I'm hoping on him. That's just what I'm rooting for.
Yeah.
Why are you hoping that?
Because it would just
make
make
a visual of a man begging to have a woman help him out in the Steiner, or what? What are you talking about? Why are you hoping?
I hope people know that how really disgusting and dirty he is.
And I think that is it. That he was getting it used on him as well.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
A lot of confirmed.
Yes. Why did he just be with a man then?
Yes.
And that would be more disgusting and dirty than him using them on her, in your opinion, or what?
I think asking a woman to put things in the anus is a little too much.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you can't ask your wife, you got to ask someone. If these are needs of yours, I guess you don't have to, but he wanted to and had the cash to make it happen.
I just hope it's true for some reason.
But yeah, it is. It is true, according to my story from the New York Post.
That he was asking the hooker who's talking to the feds to use those apparatuses on him.
Yes.
Lower.
She also, this is from my news story, she said that Spitzer enjoyed using naughty novelty items on himself.
Sounds like she did nail it there, yes.
Yeah, she did. it through
And then
Okay, Governor, you may feel a little pressure. Yeah, the roof of my mouth is a little too strong. Okay, thank you.
Oh, boy.
And then
All right.
says that an unnamed source that's close to this investigation said, quote, the full portrait of Mr. Spitzer's sexual interest has yet to be told.
Oh, boy.
So it could get worse.
And the weirder, the better for me. Let it all
Yeah,
out.
I don't know if anyone's even interested in hearing any more details at this point. The guy has been disgraced. He stepped down as governor. He's kind of moved on into his little new private situation to a large degree. I don't think we'll be hearing much from him anytime soon.
No.
If people still need to hear the follow-up seedy details of his private life outside of the happy home he had with his wife and his family, well, I don't know if that truly is what people are hanging on. But you never know. Maybe people want more details. I think most people have moved on and never really cared all that much to begin with. I think people in New York cared more than people on the West Coast, that's for sure. But everyone was kind of interested. It was interesting when the story first broke, but it's not like anyone's obsessing over it.
Right.
So for her to say, oh, when more details come out, people are really going to be going wild when they hear this stuff. I don't know if that's the case.
But details like that are pretty interesting. The holier
Pretty
than
much,
now.
But are we pretty much done with it now, or what? Isn't everyone pretty much moved on and just fine now, or what?
Yeah, but it's going to take some details like that to get you interested again.
I don't think people are hanging by the TVs, going waiting for this just in with the governor. And I don't think that's really happening anymore.
Yeah, I'm going to need pictures now, I think, maybe.
Oh, jeez. Terry, what else is going on in the world, please? What else is happening?
Well, Miley Cyrus tops People magazine's list of the richest teenagers.
They came out with the richest teenager list.
Yes.
And
she's it.
Of all, does that count teenagers that are sitting on big inheritance, or just like the Hollywood teenagers?
Hollywood music right about now.
In the Hollywood world, there's no one that's going to outdo Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus has probably out-earned her own father by now.
She has.
She probably is. Let me put it this way. When I went into the Disney store not too long ago, I honestly had to check and make sure the sign on the outside of the store didn't say the Miley Cyrus store.
Right.
All right? Because the Disney store has become the Miley Cyrus store. They play her CD, they loop it, and they play it all afternoon and evening long in the malls or wherever you're walking into, whatever Disney store you're going into. Everything pretty much on every shelf has a Miley Cyrus attachment. There's some kind of Miley Cyrus connection. It is the Miley Cyrus store now.
Well,
you see Mickey Mouse in the corner going, hello.
Exactly.
Hello? Anybody here?
Minnie used to be the hottest babe in the Disney store.
Yeah.
Now no one wants to know from her, Terry.
I'm Donald Duck. You remember me?
It's all about Miley Cyrus.
Well, but the other thing to remember, and this is really interesting, the whole Hannah Montana, which is Disney, and that's what gave Miley Cyrus the big, breakout. That franchise is expected to be worth $1 billion by the end of the year.
Just like the
billion.
name alone. The
name alone, Hannah Montana
kind of Miley Cyrus connection by name alone, the trademark is worth like $1 billion.
Yes. By end of this year.
That should give you an indication of what I'm talking about. They're pumping out all kinds of products, and it's everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Mickey Mouse is at a bar every night during happy hour,
drinking heavy.
plotting ways to get rid of Miley Cyrus. I was the king of this town. I hate that bitch.
Yeah, Daisy just sitting there. Who does that bitch think she is? Just staring at the town.
Yeah. Not good.
Yeah.
So who else? The Jonas Brothers on there somewhere, Terry?
Of course. I was just going to tell you that. The Jonas Brothers, of course, made the list.
Are they number 2?
They didn't really break it all down, but they kind of, they earn about $12 million a year. You've got...
How do you live on that?
I don't know.
They got to split that, too.
Yeah, they do.
Geez. All right, so the Jonas Brothers are worth a nice bit of cash. Who else? What other teens am I forgetting about here that are pretty big right now? What about like Zach and the High School Musical? No, the High School Musical cast make it anywhere or no?
I did not see their name. I don't have the full list or anything. I just have a few names.
Who do you got on the list?
Abigail Breslin. She was in Little Miss Sunshine. Dakota Fanning is still there.
Isn't she so cute?
Yeah.
Dakota Fanning is still a teenager? I guess she would be, yes.
She's 14.
All right. She's only 14?
Yep.
Man. She's aging slow.
Yeah. Angus T. Jones from 2.5 Men. The gentleman, Tyler James Williams of Everybody Hates Chris. He's on the little list.
Anyone else? Wonderful. Angie,
you're on. Ugly Betty, the teenage kid.
The dude from Ugly Betty?
Yeah.
Oh, good for him. Angie, hello.
Came
you're
back,
on the air.
by the way. New episode.
Hello.
Hi, what's up, baby?
Hi, I was calling because I'm dating somebody, and he says I'm under a lot of insecurity. And
he claims you're insecure, your boyfriend, and
yes, we've been having off and on.
If you hear it enough, you may start to believe it, Terry. So she's in that little situation where her boyfriend keeps telling her how insecure she is. She doesn't feel like she is, and if she subjects herself to hearing it enough, before you know it, perception is reality. She'll start to become insecure, even if she wasn't to begin with. So how are you going to maneuver your way through this, Angie? You going to hang around this guy who keeps hitting you and bombarding you with the notion that you're insecure?
That's what I needed to hear.
That's what you needed to hear?
He's got an ex-wife that keeps calling. Now she doesn't want the kids
so
around.
You are insecure then about his ex-wife. Why are you so insecure, Angie? What are you so concerned about his ex-wife? She's just that. She's an ex. And maybe, do they have kids together?
Yes, and now the kids have allowed around me.
That would
and
justify...
every time we discuss it, he blows up.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't talked to him since Tuesday night. He said he was coming over Wednesday, and I haven't heard from him since.
Wow.
So it's like, where do I stand in this picture? I keep trying to hold the relationship, and it doesn't seem to happen. So do I have insecurity, or is there a reason why to have it?
Well, more importantly, the immediate problem is there's been a 48-hour plus window where you haven't had any communication whatsoever with this man you call boyfriend. Isn't that more the immediate problem as to superseding as to whether you're insecure or not and trying to figure all that out?
Yes.
Where is your boyfriend? And do you even have one? Do you even have one anymore? Well, he may be at work, but he's not really in the picture of your life, at least in the immediate second here, because you kind of bugged him enough that he may have moved on with his life, and you just haven't gotten the word yet, unless you don't feel that's the case. What do you think your status is right now?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I think I'm trying to hold on to something that doesn't want it no more.
Oh.
That could be just your insecurity speaking. Angie, should we call your boyfriend at work and see if he's willing to come to the phone line so we can understand how we can go about navigating this weekend for you? If you're a single woman, if you're a single woman this weekend, wouldn't you like to know that on Friday as opposed to Sunday, or what?
Yes, I would.
Not that it would change the overall course of the weekend. You don't sound like the kind of woman that if you find out you're single right now that you'll tear it up so big time tonight and tomorrow night. But it's nice to know if you can find out where you stand right now. If I could ask him questions directly that you're not comfortable asking him right now, that would be valuable information, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I do.
All right, well, let me do this. Let me put you on hold. Where are you calling from?
San Jose.
Okay. Well, you got Sharks games to go to, so that'll always take your mind off things. Okay, listen. I'll put you on hold. You'll give us your boyfriend's number.
Okay,
I will call him and see if we can get him to the phone line. And if he wants to say, hey, Andrew's got to know it's over, then you'll hear things loud and clear and you'll accept it. Is that fair or not fair? Because if you're going to be the type that I work hard to get you this information and then you pathetically choose to ignore it, then what's my point in calling? Okay, we agree on that?
I agree.
Okay, I'm going to put you on hold now. Oh, this should be fun, Terry.
Yeah.
Angie wants to know where she stands. We're calling on behalf of Angie. Who? Oh, you mean that stalker?
Oh, wow.
No, Angie sounds like a nice lady, Terry.
Yeah.
Who's in a little spat with her boyfriend who hasn't had any line of communication with her, text message, phone call, voicemail, instant message, nothing. No smoke signals, no Morse code.
Oh, there's
no
a wind. What did that say?
Nothing. Over the past 48 hours.
Wow.
Now, Now, where do you think that typically means a relationship stands, Terry? Can a relationship be a perfectly healthy one, and yet you go an over 2-day period without any communication at all whatsoever? Or does that in itself... Does that in itself pretty much tell you the handwriting on the wall is staring you in the face that your relationship, if it's not over, it's about the next closest status?
Yeah, I think that's a big flag there.
Can healthy couples go 48 hours and just need a timeout and just have no communication, or is that indicative of a relationship that's more or less over, or what's your analysis?
I think that when a couple who supposedly loves each other, respects each other, things like that, even though I don't think it's healthy.
I mean, you may take a little time to yourself. Everyone needs a little space every once in a while, but you still have some communication.
Or let the other person know you want a little space.
You still can call. You still can text message. They're not a married couple.
Right.
Keep that in mind. They don't have children that they need to be talking about situations based on their families.
Right.
So... He could have a couple of days where he just wants some time to himself, but a text message here or there, something that indicates that he's at least thinking about her to some regard.
You just let her know, hey, I'm going to pass for a couple days if you don't mind. Is that cool?
Mm-hmm.
See ya.
I'm still here, but still not even considering wanting to get together at this point.
Yeah.
So just know I'm fine, and I'm glad you're fine, and I'll check back with you tomorrow. I mean, there's been nothing.
No, I know.
Not that it's been the longest period of time. 48 hours is not the longest stretch, but it's becoming a situation very quickly.
4.9.
Angie?
Yeah.
Angie's telling all her friends that we're about to find out her status and she wants everyone in her family to be listening. Okay, Angie, your boyfriend's name is Carlos, is that right?
Yes.
I have his number right here. Let's see if we can get him to the phone line, all right? This is live radio, ladies and gentlemen, and Carlos has every right to turn us down by law. To not be interested in speaking on the air.
Right.
Oh, I hate that part.
I know.
But we're trying to do a service for Angie. So she can figure out what her weekend is
going to be all about.
Like. Mm-hmm.
You could be single by this weekend. Awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Go and kick it.
Your call has been forwarded to automatic voice message system 4088938.
Oh, wait. Oh, geez. Angie?
Yes.
Angie, turn your radio down, Angie.
Okay.
I have some interesting news, and this may be, in some sense, in people's minds, a sign in and of itself. It seems that Carlos either coincidentally already had his phone turned off when this call began, or he may be a listener himself or knows people that do listen, and he got word really quickly that we were about to do what we just did, and he turned that phone to the off status right quick.
Or he could be calling in, maybe.
Possible. Is there a work number? It sounded like we called Carlos' cell number. Is there a work number we can call that we can at least speak to a live person that can tell us that Carlos is busy and can't come to the phone? Do you have his work number, Angie?
The only number I have.
That's the only number you have?
That's the only number?
He doesn't give you... You're a couple and you don't have an ability to call him at his workplace?
No, he works out in the field.
He works out in the field.
Mm-hmm.
Does he usually have his phone off when he's at work? Or is this something that doesn't seem right?
It's just something that started.
This is just something that started recently.
He used to answer my calls and everything. Now he doesn't even answer.
So he has a history over the long haul of your relationship of answering your calls while he's at work. So you know he can answer calls at work.
Exactly.
So this in and of itself, again, is not a good sign.
Yeah, no kidding.
Let's try it one more time. You never know. Maybe something happened there that won't happen this time around. Let's give it one more shot here. Terry?
Yes?
I'm starting to feel a little bad for Angie here.
You think?
She just wants her boyfriend.
I know, and I don't think she's going to get him.
Angie, can we start? Oh, it's ringing now at least.
Oh, wow.
Maybe I dialed wrong. I don't know.
Your call has been forwarded to an...
Well, that made me see this progress, Terry.
Yeah?
We at least got 4 rings out of Carlos.
I'll take it. I'll take it right now.
Will you take that, Angie? Terry, maybe in a roundabout way, this could turn out to be the best day of Angie's life as she drops some dead weight. It's never good to be carrying around dead weight that's leading you down a road to nowhere. And maybe Carlos, Angie knows probably deep in her heart of hearts better than anyone, is not a good guy for her in the long run. And now hearing that it might be over is the best news that really, not short term, but in the long term, she could be hearing this morning.
Okay.
Can we at least dress it up like that, Angie, or what?
Yes.
What would you like, Carlos? What would you like Carlos to be saying right now? If I had Carlos on the line and he answered the phone, he was dying to talk about this, what would the best words that could come out of his mouth be? What would those words be, Angie?
Where's this relationship going? It's either yes or no.
So any answer, whether it's yes or no, as long as he gave you a direct answer, is the best words you could hear. Yes. But you have to be feeling like you're rooting for one over the other, Angie. Obviously, it's safe to say you're rooting for him to say, hey, the relationship is as strong as ever. I just spent 2 days to myself for this, that, or the other reason. I couldn't really get a hold of my girlfriend, and I love her more now than any day of my life. Is that really the kind of scenario you want to hear him say, or no?
Probably. I just want to know. Instead of being left out, I want to know.
But you know what, Angie? It sounds like to me, if you're just saying you just need to hear the words, it sounds like to me that you already know the words. It sounds like to me that you don't, even though you feel like you need to hear it, you don't need to hear it because you kind of sense that the handwriting is very boldly on the wall, that he's moved on and it's over.
Exactly.
Aww.
Okay. I just need another opinion from somebody out there.
Well, there you go.
And there it is. And I appreciate it.
Let's try Carlos one more time. Give him one more shot.
Yeah, one more call. Come on.
Way behind, Terry.
I think you're onto something when he doesn't talk to you or answer his phone ever.
I'm not giving up as quick as Angie here.
Right. We're better stalkers
but
than her.
Yeah, it can be a little bit of an indication if he's not talking to you for 48 hours and refusing to take any call that you're directing towards him.
So what are you not saying?
What if he answers right now? I love her.
I was actually ring shopping, but never mind.
Your call has been forwarded to
There it is again.
Yep.
Angie! Hang on, Angie. Let's try all morning long, Terry. Let's not give up.
Okay.
Let's not go down without a fight here.
You starting to cry,
Of course she sounds
Angie?
upset. She loves this man. Angie, Terry wants to know if you'll be crying in the next few minutes. Is that something you can forecast happening here or what?
I'm ready for it.
You ready to start crying? You ready to go through that therapeutic little closure bit of emotion or what?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It could be very, very therapeutic, very healthy. And it's empathetic. All right, hang on, Angie. I'm not giving up so quick, Terry.
I know that.
Carlos, we know you're out there. We're closing in on you, bud. You can't avoid our calls forever.
The T-Man Show.